these big, tall guys, yeah, they also have to take that into consideration when they're getting the cover, and I think we're going to get right into this round.
Yeah, well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first match here at OC5 for Onward. It's going to be on Suburbia. Globochem starting off on the blue side here, SMC Tactical on the orange. And already off the bat, Suburbia. We should maybe talk about this map a little bit before we do see the action kick off.
Yeah, we have to talk quick because this is a short map. There's very fast interactions. It's one of the smaller maps in Onward, so you have people engaging with each other right away. You can see Otto and Pants here have pushed up to the middle of the map, and they're going to be looking into the center house where the objective is. They have to push into that center house, kill those 4 players in that house, and then capture the objective if they want to get 2 points here. It is no easy feat.
And keep in mind, with the uplink being inside of this building too, it is very difficult to get up that staircase, to get to that uplink. There's so many angles that you could potentially be shot from, and this comes down to what we're just talking about with grenades. If you have a mastery of grenades in this situation, you can take down 1, 2, maybe even 3 people with just one well-placed grenade. And we've already seen now for Globochem pushing around the side here and maybe trying to get a different angle so they can actually close it on this building. But SMC Tactical, they've invested pretty much everything into this building.
Yeah, I think what you might see here is a flank around that east side. Those two are going to try and push up along that east lane, cross over the street on the south, and then try and get into a position where they can also shoot into that second-story middle house. And then, when that happens, they'll converge onto that middle house together. They do have to watch out for that south member defending, though. If he catches this east push, it's done. They don't have that option to really threaten that second story in that middle house.
And that player basically gets to lock down that entire entrance in towards that house too. So you're not going to be flanked, which means the 4 people in the building can watch at different angles with knowing that they have their teammate covering for this. But there's a lot of intricacies we have to obviously talk about in the game as we do progress further involving communication. This is a very difficult game to communicate in because it's proximity communication and it's radio. And obviously your radio can be heard. It's not just privately to you, it does it to everyone in that proximity around you. So you have to be very careful about when to communicate and when not to. And you also don't have a mini-map on your screen. It's not like you can sit there and look at where your teammates are the entire time. You have to physically pull out a tablet, see where your teammates are, and already off the bat, we do see a couple of downs coming in.
Yeah, Sickness there on that backside. He's defending from the west flank also. Maybe he'll be able to catch the east one out. And yeah, it's just, you see some nades coming out here. If they can smoke out that back flank, they have the opportunity to push into this center building and really wreak some havoc. Pants, you might see him go for a nade to try to toss it up the stairs, a little finesse grenade tossed up there. He might also cook the grenade, try and burn 2 or 3 seconds on that timer so it air bursts. But the smokes need to come out first, deny vision, and then maybe you'll start to see the push. To go back on your communication point right now, they can hear all this talk. They know Landon just radioed into his team that he got a pick, and they hear that up above them. And so that proximity voice, it gives you information. You can detract where this team is. I can hear Pants shuffling around me downstairs right now, at least Landon can, so they know he's down there.
Nice little smoke as well to cover off the very south defender to try to get sort of avenue to push in if they want. But look at this. They're trying to make that push in. That staircase is going to be so deadly. But there's still so much time on the board here for Globochem. There's no need to rush this one at all. Take your time, especially if you have any utility to use at all. Get it up there on the high ground to that second floor and try to get a couple of picks before you do make that push happen.
This is absolutely crazy. They know there's 3 here. They're absolutely certain. The 3 that are in the bottom also know there's 3 upstairs. So everyone is aware of each other's position. This is going to be a hectic crash up top. Thunder comes up. He doesn't find Landon. Now they're following up. Otto picks off Landon. Landon gets picked. Beefy Pants. The trade's here. If Soda goes down, it's going to be trouble. Raphael can cap the objective now. They have their south defender pushing. If he doesn't get inside and kill Raph, it's going to be 2 points.
Yeah, we still have that one-on-one happening. It's not captured. Just say it comes around the corner and Sickness reads into it. And SMC will take the first round. Globochem trying to invest into that 2-point capture, going to fall from that. And that's going to cost them. That's going to hurt because that is so difficult of an uplink to attack.
My heart right there is racing. I cannot believe they almost just started this off with 2 points. That would have been devastating for SMC. If Globochem come in, the top dog, and grab that first round with a 2-point cap, SMC are just in the dumps. But Sickness, the team captain, comes in and saves the day. Unbelievable play from him.
Well, let's look at this Nightfire. Suburbia, is this more of an attack-heavy map or a defense-heavy map?
It's definitely more of an attack-heavy map just because of how close it is. And so you see plays a lot, like the one you saw there, where you had that smoke and that south street to sort of deny vision from Sickness, who was across that south street defending. They wanted to do that so they could push up into that house and get the cap. That was exactly their plan, executed to a T. That nade over the house was beautiful, and Wow, Sickness just barely getting that to save the day.
Honestly, and luckily we do have a replay of that action breaking down. And it was happening so fast. You see kills constantly being traded. You saw Otto, you pushed up the staircase, he got dropped. You see Pants come around the corner, Raphael as well. And just look at the mini-map there. You see that player. You see Sickness instantly go, crap. Like, I have to do something right now because I can see that we've lost every single person on my team. I know they have at least one player. I've got to rush that house. And it puts him in a really bad position where he's obviously making a ton of noise. He's giving up the advantage of being able to hold an angle and runs around that corner and somehow picks off the 1v1.
There's a few little intricate things that we can talk about there. Number one being his sound, again, coming into play. And the sound of gunshots varies on what gun you're using, right? So Sickness on the backside doesn't have vision, but he hears an AK go off, which is on the Volk side, and then he hears another rifle go off on the Marsoc, and he heard the rifle on Marsoc as the last gun shot. So he knew he did not have any Volk members in that house, and instead of having a mini-map to tell him someone's dead or seeing something that this kill happened.
Yeah, they don't have a kill feed either.
He reacts and just goes. It's beautiful play from Sickness there.
All right, well, coming into this round now, we see obviously a change up in sides. The uplink's still in the same position. I would imagine Globochem is going to do relatively the same thing by sitting inside of the building. It comes down to, like you said, who can crash in quicker and who can do it more successfully when hitting those shots. And the unfortunate part is, too, is like when you're attacking that house, if you're one of the first players, you know, like, yeah, I'm going to fall. Like, there's no way I'm going to live in this, right? There's no way I can get every single player. But your job is to get as much damage done as possible, maybe take one person with you and get an end cap, maybe try to do something, and you're heavily relying on your teammates to back you up, to be there to close out that round.
Yeah, and let's kind of talk about maybe a unique strategy that could have broken out there that's also really unique to VR in itself. Pull a grenade off the chest, pull the pin, put it back on your chest. Go up the stairs with a rifle in hand. You know you're going to die, like you said. So when you get shot, you have a grenade drop off your chest. It kills another member up top. We didn't see that here, but I have seen it many times from Globochem on this map, so might be broken out at some point.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. We actually saw, funny enough, a lot of team frags happen back in Leicester with grenades and just shots in general, to be fair.
Yeah.
But either way, again, just to quickly touch on the communication aspect while we have a little bit of time here. You know, players, again, there's not like a button, a binding they can hit to talk to their team, and only their team. They have to physically put their gun down, take one hand across their chest, which is right next to their knife. We actually saw a self-kill happen in Leicester on that one. But then obviously click the radio and talk. And we've seen some teams adapt to this because, again, when you talk through your radio, if there's anyone near that person you're talking to, they can hear it too. So we've seen the adaptation come in with clicks, with a little bit of Morse code happen. Yeah,
and actually Pants is one of those guys that really does, he's not afraid to communicate. He'll radio into his team, there's somebody right next to me, and that's information that the other team knows. They can hear his voice, but he doesn't care. He's more concerned about getting that info to his squad so that they can react off of it, not just him alone. It's not a one-man.
Well, you can use it as a bait too. You could fake it.
Yeah,
like you can completely fake. All right, guys, let's push this building because you know someone can hear you on their team and they might relay it to their teammates as well. We did see one person go down towards the very south side. I believe a nade did come in and in-cap him, but he's not eliminated just yet. There's a chance to revive him, which I think someone might be going for who's right next to the tank.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Otto to rotate around and get that res. Sometimes when you get shot in this game, you can go down and you're able to get resurrected. Yeah. Someone can take a syringe, they pull the trigger, push down on the thumb pad, and resurrect a player. It feels like you're injecting someone with adrenaline and they're coming up and you know, that's what they need.
I think you're supposed to do it in their heart, not their toe, which we see happen all the time, just like sneakily get up there. But we're starting to hit the point now, Nightfire. We're getting close to that point. We do see Captain Soda actually take down Otto. So by the tank, there's no chance to res that player anymore because the last three of Globochem are in the building. SMC are actually looking really good here.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Globochem. To not have your south defender, it opens up that whole east approach. It opens up that south street to be attacked. They still have one over there. Otto is still there holding that angle. I actually think he might have gotten back, gotten the res, and then Otto died at tank. So that resurrect on that far south street coming out, a team kill. That's the last thing SMC need right here. You should know who's down on the bottom floor. You should know where your teammates are. You can also check the pad. You can pull a pad out from your back pocket, so to speak, and check it to see where your teammates are. They have Sickness who's crossed the street. Now his goal is going to be to shoot into this second story, really keep Thunder and Raphael down while Landon and the rest of the squad try and crash up this center building. Almost another team kill there. Whew, really close. I think the pressure maybe gets to these players and they're just all on edge.
There we go. Thunder Pilot actually did down Sickness, so there's no chance for him to shoot in towards that second floor anymore. Thunder Pilot did a good job here again, defending that staircase, the one avenue you can attack into this building. And SMC, luckily for them, they can res Sickness if they want to, but they have to get towards him, which I think Captain Soda just did, run around towards the tank, so they should get their player back alive. So now they still have the 4-on-2 as Mr. BB takes down Pants, and now it's Thunder Pilot and Raphael, the last two alive here for Globochem. They have to hold on to the second floor, but luckily that positional advantage but I still worry for them. Coming up the staircase, they could just rush this one. They could crash down on SMC or on Globochem and just punish them.
Well, you saw what happened last round. The man advantage comes into play here. If you can send up 4 and they only have 3, one goes down, one trades for another. Some shots almost on a really tight angle from Landon there. A flashbang maybe comes up with pick from Soda on the other side. The flash not good, crashes on that bottom floor. Beefy might be able to pick Raph if he peeks here. This is a fantastic positioning out of this squad. Landon's watching one side, Beefy the other. Raphael's going to try and peek as he hears Landon. Beefy doesn't land the shots, and Raphael crosses over. Here comes the storm up. Landon tries to find one, and Nade doesn't go out. And SMC Tactical finish off Globochem, taking themselves up 2-0.
So not only do they win the defending round, they win the attacking round.
Yeah, and you actually saw only 1 point going to that. That's because they didn't capture the objective. If you can wipe out...
That's like a whole nother thing that we have to talk about
Absolutely.
as well, because you do see situations where if there's one person defending left alive, attacking teams that they have like 2 or 3, try to actually go for the uplink instead of going for that final elimination to get those 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, suppressive fire is a huge thing in this game. When you are inside the game, when you have that headset on and bullets are zipping by your head and there's audio coming in, you feel the urge to duck.
Yeah.
You feel your life at risk, and so you get down, and so you can have 1 or 2 members suppressing that last surviving player on the enemy side while you send another one up to cap. They didn't go for that obviously here because it's so close quarters that if he's inside that house, there's just no chance they're going to get that capture off. So they go for the kill. They secure themselves a nice 1 point on Marsoc, and they're up 2-0. This is really surprising.
The only unfortunate part, I'll be that guy to say this, is that they actually defended first, because if they were going into the attacking round now, they could actually win this map off that attacking round, and that forces you defensively for Globochem to play differently, because if those 2 points get added to your scoreboard, you've got your 4, you got your first map.
Yeah, there is a wide-standing Volk advantage sort of ideology out there in the community where if you start on Volk, you have this advantage of being able to sit and defend. You know, you can sit back and just play that patience game where you wait for them to attack, because that's what this game is. It's a defense and attack sort of game style, and you're never going to get away from that, but you have to figure out how you can force movement out of teams, how you can make those guys that are camping angles shift, and that's why you send out smokes, you send out frags, you sort of force movement, then you find a pick, then you move up and try and capture objective. I just love this game. It's fantastic to see these top teams playing right now, and they're using some pretty great strats so far.
Oh, we do see a shield coming in here for Globochem.
Oh yeah, that's something we got to talk about too.
Yeah, go ahead, take it away, Nightfire.
I mean, shields they work just like in most games, except they're indestructible in this one. They can be shot repeatedly. You can sit behind them. You have to crouch or your feet are exposed. So you'll see Raph, once he gets up into a position where he's close to the enemy, he'll crouch down. They'll use Thunder as his sort of rifle, as his wingman, and he'll be shooting at spots that the shield guy is calling out. You can see a nice airburst frag, trying to catch some Globochem members pushing up. Pants is in a pretty risky spot. You typically do see frags in that position. I'm surprised no one's tossed one into the middle of the map to try to catch him out. But yeah, this is the push on this east side. Raphael's going to utilize his shield. You can see there's a gap in that shield too. So he can see through it. He can call out, hey, there's a guy here, and then Thunder can react. And that's what they're going to try and do as they push here. The objective also very cappable. You put a couple smokes on that, you deny vision, it's going to force that movement like we were talking about earlier. And it's, I mean, here they are. These are some fantastic smokes. It's completely shutting down that whole middle house view of this objective. And what is that, 3, 4, 5 smokes coming out from these guys?
Well, I mean, luckily for them, at least for SMC, they have Sickness there. And look at that. Pancakes gets down, is eliminated.
Gosh, charging inside the middle house, he gets 2.
He does get dropped and finished off here, but gives his team a massive advantage, 4 on 3. And again, if they can get the uplink here, guess what? It's not 0-2 anymore, it's 2-2. They're going to be able to tie things up.
Yeah, they have to move now, though. Those smokes do have they only have a certain time on them, you know, so they're not just out there forever. They do eventually go away. A nice frag gets tossed off the pole. It bounces off and catches Sickness. That was insane.
He's going to be down, but he's not out just yet. A teammate's going to come in to go for the res. Mr. Beefy will pull that one off. We see the push come in with the shield. Raphael's trying to call for distraction. Thunder probably comes from behind. Sickness drops him,
the nade's out. It catches
and the nade gets 2.
It catches everybody.
Globochem fighting back strong, coming in with the nades constantly in that corner. Well done by them, but it's also kind of unfortunate too, right? Because they had a man advantage at the beginning. There was a chance to take 2 points, but I think the position we saw out of Sickness there, sitting on the actual uplink, constantly prevented them from having any sort of chance of capturing.
Yeah, and I mean, that's another Marsoc point. You know, that's just, I guess it's up in the air with these two teams. Anything is really possible. I don't necessarily think that Volk advantage is as important on close quarters maps like this one with skilled teams like this. I think you're going to get Marsoc point wins like that. And, I mean, that was just so fantastic. You saw that really coordinated flank happening. The nade, I don't know if you noticed, he dropped his shield, leaned it against himself, pulled the pin, grabbed the shield, and then threw that nade. So there's all sorts of different mechanics you can kind of interact with there that if you're not paying attention to, you don't even realize, oh, he just had a shield out, he threw a nade. No, there was all sorts of little things he had to do there first to make that play happen, and that was very nicely done.
And there's something else about shields that we haven't seen just yet, but we've seen some teams who do have, obviously, the weapon in their hands. You need two hands to hold on to because of the kickback from it. You can see players have a shield in one hand and that gun in the other, typically like shotguns or something like that. And you can obviously drop the shield, go for shot, pick the shield back up, and you can almost do it so fluidly that you don't lose out on any sort of chance of being shot.
Man, that nade, he actually caught 3 out on that nade. There was 2 there that we saw in our view, but they had a third rotating around the backside of tank to also defend on objective because they had lost those 2. So they wanted to make sure that they had 3 with eyes on objective, that no one was going to allow a cap to happen there. But it ends up biting them in the
thing is, even though that didn't turn out well for SMC, I still like the way they played it with Sickness watching the flank angle, right? Because you can kind of, in some situations, like hear a shot to your right and immediately turn and try to go for that angle, but he had the awareness to watch the angle being flanked in from to prevent them from being wiped out. Obviously, it happened anyways. But Globochem, they're not out just yet. Because
not at all.
This still could be SMC Tactical taking the map in this round alone if they get a capture onto the uplink. And that has to change the way you defend. Yeah,
it does. It does indeed. It also changes how you attack, right? Because now they're going to potentially be looking for a cap. They want to secure this round. They can get 2 points, go up 4-1, grab themselves a nice early lead, and they actually beefy with an early pick. This is huge. Toast is super exposed here. If Ponecake pushes up, he can catch Toast out behind this wood. Something important to remember is that a lot of this stuff's penetrable. So these bushes, some of these sandbags, some of this wood is penetrable. Toast flanks around, catches 1 out in the open. Beefy now hears those shots. He knows an AK-5C's over there. He can't respond. Toast finds 2. Really nice answer back from him on the flank. They have to be careful here. He is deep in enemy lines right now.
Yeah, he's being really aggressive here. He could be flanked from the back, but Captain Soda's going to fall to Otto, and just like that, Globochem have a 2-man advantage, but Landon is finally able to respawn, able to take Toast down. But we still have the player here towards the west side who's going to have a little bit of action straight across from. There's a player towards the right as well, towards the eastern part of the map, who looks like he's actually going to flank around to rejoin his teammate here. So SMC with the last 2 going to try to stick together, potentially, and play off of that, play off their potential refrag.
Yeah, something to note about audio as well is when they're crouching and moving slow, you can't hear them. It's very quiet. If you start to pick up that pace just a little bit, you start to make some shifts in your gear, you can start to hear some audio. Then when you start to run, it's full blown. You hear footsteps, you know right where somebody is. So right there you saw some really careful crouching because these guys are right on the other side of a bush that you can shoot through. A nade is going to come out onto a pretty standard defensive position. I don't know if it's going to catch anybody. No, they don't have anyone there. He's tucked into that house there defending the objective. And this is Thunder. I mean, look at he is aggressive. He is looking for a pick here. He's not sitting behind in a corner defending. He's out looking around, trying to find Sickness and Landon.
We'll also keep in mind those hedges, as we can see through them, so can the players. If they do hold that angle, they can see through it, go for the shot as well. Have to be very careful here for Globochem, but Sickness and Landon going to be sticking together against Sickness, the player we haven't really seen play with SMC when it's come to the lands. He unfortunately couldn't come to Leicester when we saw them back in September. And Otto is going to be that real anchor for the team for Globochem to make sure the uplink does not get completed.
Yeah, there's the brother duo right there on objective. They're holding it tight. They have 3 minutes, 45 seconds left, so you can see Sickness and Landon. They're going to take their sweet time on this one. They're going to try and look for any sort of picks, any sort of rotations out of the Globochem defense. But right now, it is looking good. The Globochem seem to have a nice spread. They're watching all their angles. They have coverage on west and east, and then someone that's coming up potentially could come up the middle. Just 1 pick, though, is all it's going to really take to get SMC back into this one.
And the greatest advantage they do have is time.
Yeah.
They have so much of it. 3 minutes and 19 seconds left, and they can slowly continue to push up this pace, clear those angles like you mentioned, try to eliminate 1 or 2 more players. But I still feel like the chance of them getting the uplink, it shouldn't happen here unless somehow they're able to kill the 2-player on top of this one. Yeah. The Thunder Pilot comes in big, takes down Sickness. Now it's just down to the last remaining player of SMC up against 3. He's got the world on his shoulders here, but it's going to be very difficult to pull off.
There's Sickness just getting downed. If Landon can crash in here and take out Raph, he has potential. He has the height advantage. He may be able to find some extra picks on that south street, but it's going to take a lot for him to get this. to crash up those stairs and find a kill and not get shot himself.
And we're certainly going to be hearing him now as he runs away. The thing is, it's going to be so difficult too, because once he does shoot, like you said before, they can hear the difference in the weaponry. They're going to know where he is. They're going to know probably about how many people are left alive. And they're going to know if they lost their teammate, because they can just check their little pad very quickly. But Thunder still want to hold a little bit of a forward position, prevent any sort of chance from that uplink. And Landon, it's going to be tough. It is doable. We've seen it happen in September. Like, we've literally seen comebacks like this. But on a stage here in front of a crowd with all the pressure on his shoulders, just makes it that much more difficult.
He should be looking over in Thunder's position. The spot Thunder's at is very common. Maybe a frag there catches him out. He can be shot through the bushes if he decides to look for an angle on Landon. And he is peeking. He finds Thunder finds Landon underneath the Hummer, though. I mean, a fantastic shot from him. That's a tight angle to find right there.
Very difficult indeed, but Thunder probably got so many eliminations in that round. Yeah. And now looking forward ahead, with SMC, they were up 2-0. Globochem tying things up, and now they're going to be attacking. They're going to have the chance to close this out with a new uplink position on top of that to actually take the map back from SMC. And you have to kind of wonder, you as a player, obviously, if you're up 2-0 against a team that's seen as, the #1 in the world, and then they tie you up, and then they get an uplink against you, how does that mentally affect you into map 2?
It definitely does affect you, because you come in feeling confident. You think, oh wow, we just got 2 on Globochem, the #1 team in the world. We're looking good right now.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they answer back. Now you're starting to wonder, oh no, maybe we're not that good. Maybe we can't compete with these guys. If they can get this cap, it's a huge morale hit to SMC to have to come back after that, after losing something that you felt so good starting off on.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. I think it's also kind of important to remember, though, those 2 rounds that SMC won were close. I think it came down to a 1v1 and a 2v1. So both those rounds they did scrape by to grab. Yeah. So I don't know. Globochem here, maybe they had enough. They lost those first 2 rounds, and they said, okay, we're going to step up our game. Here's where I'd really love to see a Globochem unique play come out.
Okay, well, let's also be fair, by the way, to SMC. This is the choice of Globochem. This is the map that they chose in the series. We do have Bazaar to come up next, which is SMC's choice. And that's a map that I think I heard them saying before, that they have some wins, have some losses against Globochem. It's very kind of hit and miss sometimes. And then Quarantine as a last and final map.
Yeah, I think Bazaar is a pretty obvious choice for them with Sickness now on their squad.
Right.
Because even though those rounds they may have lost were probably ones where Sickness wasn't involved. Now he's here. He can push this team forward. He can bring in his unique strats to any of these maps.
And can you just kind of like delve into this for us, how important it is to have a caller who's as good as him? Because like you're saying before, the angles you have to hold, the patience, like everything. If you have a mastermind, the puppeteer in your team to help you, choose where to go and when, can really change your play style.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see here the guys that are front and center in the picture, in the shot of their team, those are considered the captains, and every team has a captain. That captain's responsibility is to lead his squad. He's in charge of communicating effectively. We have 4 left, we have 3 left, we've killed 2, making sure everybody has the information they need, all at the same time playing effectively. So Sickness also trying to get caps while he's leading his squad. It is no easy task, but watching him do it is a treat. He is very skilled at managing people.
And then, obviously, like mid-round calls, taking everything into account of the situation. How many people do I have left alive? How much utility do we have left alive? Who is left alive, most importantly, because obviously players have different setups. And then obviously come in with a plan off of that to be effective. But we're into our next round here. It's 2-2 apiece. 5 minutes left into this one. We have the uplink again inside the central building. And we have Raphael with the shield another time. We do have the same defensive setup, though, out of SMC. So Sickness probably going to be very far south, watching that angle, watching that coverage into the house. But if they lose everyone in that building again, and he's in a 1-on-2 situation, there's a good chance Globochem could pull off the cap, because he's going to have to run straight through them and try to take down 2 people.
It is interesting to not see a deviation in the plan. Raphael knows Sickness is over here, so he's going to try and answer with a nade over there. He doesn't get it over the hedges, so Sickness is safe on that south side, but now he knows a nade was tossed to him, so he's kind of conscious of someone's looking to catch him.
He's rotated completely, too.
Otto's trying to catch that rotation by looking through the shrubs. Thunder also, he can shoot through that wood and catch Sickness as he rotates around here. It's a very risky business to be shifting around at this point in the game, especially with Globochem pushed up to where they are, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a pick. And if they can actually get themselves onto that South Street like we've been talking, it's going to be trouble. Sickness is going to have to perform well. And I'm frankly surprised to see the same defense, because now you're thinking, well, they probably got one south. If we can just smoke that out and push up the center again, maybe we can get another cap. do it a little bit differently this time.
I think like one smoke there is still not going to change the entirety of the game because you still have to run up that staircase, right? It's not like, yeah, that one smoke makes this round from 20% winnable to 90% winnable. You still have to penetrate and crash that defensive position. But like I said, the smoke has come in Sickness. He's going to have to rotate, which does give the option for Globochem to maybe eliminate him. But at the same time, you almost don't want to eliminate him because you want that chance to potentially go for the uplink.
They're investing so much utility here. These smokes cost points when you go in and pick your points. Pants finds Pwnecake. Sickness now has to start to rotate. Toast may be looking for that pick as he rotates around. The crash coming inside that house. Pants is going to be going upstairs. They know he's there. Toast out in the open. He'll be charging up to get in that, looking for Sickness maybe on the south and then coming in as a last member.
This is big. If Toast can take this or Sickness can take this, would be massive. The smoke's going to be there. Sickness is going to look to push up here, though. He can stop this crash from happening. If he does get aggressive at the right time, he does push up, does have the sandbags. Toast does hear him. I think they're almost see each other at this rate.
You saw Toast pull his pad out there. He confirmed that was Sickness there. He made sure that wasn't a teammate, so now he knows these footsteps are here. He's very concerned. Landon finds Otto. We're into a 4v4 now. SMC. Sickness needs this pick. He knows he's there, but it's not a position you're normally in, so maybe somebody else will get caught. A nice nade up, gets Landon,
gets two! They're going to be down. They can res them, though. Mr. Beefy has to be quick about it. They don't know how many people they did down from this, so they're not going to crash into it. They get the res onto one. Will they have the second? No!
Oh. Sickness did find Toast in that corner now. The trade did happen. Sickness coming in to try and defend his squad. He finds one. He's looking for Raph in the shield. He has to charge him and get him. Raph with the rifle in hand finds Sickness. Now Pants is out. It's a 2v1. They only have the final member in that upper level. The shield is here, so he can come up those stairs with 2.5 left. Beefy is going to have trouble dealing with this. This is not looking good for SMC.
Chance for the res is just, I think it's completely gone at this rate with no time left. They could be up that staircase at any second. You can see them trying to group up together, trying to use that shield to their advantage. Maybe get a player behind it so they can shoot above it. And Raphael, he has the weapon as well as the shield. You saw him drop the shield to go for the shot, then putting the shield back up, making it very difficult for any returning fire to come through. You have to imagine this is so difficult to be patient for.
One thing here, Soda is able to radio in information to Beefy. So he's saying, we're clear bottom stairs, we're clear bottom stairs. I don't see anything. Beefy gets over there, he finds a syringe and gets the res. Now it's a 2v2 again. They have a better chance of defending. Beefy sees the shield. The rotation from Pants comes around, doesn't catch him in the corner. Beefy's trying to find any sort of angle on Raph in that shield.
Okay, I thought there may be the potential nade coming in there. Luckily for him, he does get out of that position. Pants pushes up by himself. What is he doing? He doesn't have his teammate there. They're going to go straight in for it. Pants gets that one. Can he get the second? Soda's going to be there. Soda will fall. And Globochem will take the lead now at 3-2.
They are very excited about that. You can see the cheers coming out from the squad there. That was a fantastic push, a really great use of the shield and unique use of the shield, I'd like to point out. That's something I haven't seen happen. He actually shot under it. He did not shoot over.
Right.
What you typically have happen, what the innovative strategy was to do is to flick the shield down and shoot and then flick it back up with your wrist. Now you see him actually utilize, because they tried to patch that, slow it down, prevent people from doing that. He's innovated. He's turned the shield now and he's shooting underneath it instead of over it. These guys look for any sort of way they can get an advantage, and that was one of them, and it paid off.
And now there's a chance. Being up 3-2, they close us out in the next round, whether it comes to defending successfully or attacking successfully, obviously because they have 2 rounds potentially to go here.
Right.
It's balls in their court. It's in their hands. Again, they're like the defending champion, and the thing is, when you're the #1 team, when you're the top dog, everyone's looking up to you.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at how you're playing, how to use that against you. But the one upside for Globochem is they qualified a long time ago. They've had time to refine the play. They've had time to, or the ability to like hide their strategies and hide any adaptations they've been making since then. Where SMC, obviously with a new player coming in, where Sickness here and be the mastermind for the team, they've shown what they can do back in Leicester.
Yeah.
There's VODs of it. They can literally go back and watch this.
I think Globochem is in that more of a unique position where they have had so much time to change their play style. Right. They can do something unique and different that's people may have been watching. I mean, I know these teams are sitting down, they watch VODs. They try and break down how some of these squads are moving, where people like to go. They watch streams as to find where players like to go, and they use that information to build strats. They use that information to know that they should smoke South Street against SMC Tactical because they know Sickness is there. And it converges into these sort of interesting strats specific for teams.
And when you're a team like Globochem that likes to get very aggressive, likes to play really aggressive with like 4 out of your 5 players, knowing where people are going to be defending when you're attacking gives you that opportunity to pre-fire positions.
Yeah.
And coming around a corner pre-firing gives you such a bigger advantage than when you're sitting there defending that corner.
Absolutely. The peeker's advantage, obviously a thing in almost any FPS. Also a thing here. So if you want to come around guns blazing, actually we're going to have some really quick action here. Sickness is charged up right into the house. Otto does find him early. Landon finds the trade. Raphael tries to answer back, and a nade from Sickness catches Landon. He's down behind the shield. The comms are out, and Raphael's going to say, hey, nice shield. I'll take that for myself.
Yeah, and he gets the elimination too. So SMC dropping 2 off the bat.
Ooh.
Mr. Beefy, though, gets the down and the finish on Pants. So now it's a 2-on-3. Somehow SMC Tactical keeping their hopes alive for the res. Potentially going to come through. Toast is down Pawn Cake. Now SMC in a 2-on-1. Well, 1.5 since Globochem still could go for that res. SMC need this round to keep their hopes alive in this first map.
Yeah, this is the first map too. Something to remember, we're in a series here. They have to win 2 more. Toast, the last member of Globochem to defend. If SMC, this is a must win. If they don't,
look where the uplink is, and look where Toast is. He's not actually in a position to stop them from going for an uplink.
No, you're right, and you can see him rotating around. Now he actually catches Mr. Beefy out on the rotation. That's insane shot. Comes around and gets the reds. Now it's a 2v2, the other res coming out. Man, this is tight. SMC Tactical, they came out hot. That was an incredibly quick play. There was downs going out 5 minutes in. We're only 4:40 in here.
Well, now the pace is definitely slowed down considering where we are in this match. If Globochem take this round, eliminate the last 2 players for SMC, they'll have the first map and get 1 step closer to being onto that main stage for the grand finals later on today. Not to mention a little bit of increase in money on top of that.
Yeah, and one thing we should kind of look there, you may have noticed, is Raph's trying to prop the shield up. It's something you can do. It's a physical object in the game. You pick it up, you lay it on a step, you lean it against a wall, you get a little angle there, you shoot over it, you can see through it for cover. I mean, it's fantastic use of an enemy shield.
Yeah.
Right there. So the shield, although useful on this map, can also be a terrible boon to you if the enemy can get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially if you're the one who's aggressive very early on the round and you do fall, like we did see obviously happen in this one. But either way, 4 minutes left. SMC going to be taking this one slow. I actually wonder how many grenades do they have left, do you think?
I saw a lot of smokes come out there. I don't think I've seen any frags come up that second floor, and we had some early downs as well. So what they can do is rotate around to those dead bodies, grab a nade or 2, and then toss it up those stairs, which we'll probably see happening from Captain Soda as he tries to rotate around the backside, while Beefy out here tries to catch anybody getting antsy on that second story.
Unlikely for him, Toast is not going to be peeking around that corner.
No
If
way.
so, he's going to be crouching to do so.
Also, one thing we can kind of take a look at is the players that are down, a lot of them sitting. This is a strenuous game. They're out there crouching, they're out there laboring, they're proning, they're working their core, and the smart ones, Globochem, the ones that are sitting when they're down.
I'm literally looking at Mr. Beefy right now, and my legs hurt just from watching that. And I'm sitting here sitting, luckily, in a chair, very comfortable chair.
Yeah, imagine holding that for 6 minutes. It's like doing a 6-minute chair hold or something.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But either way, 3 minutes now left to go. They finally have gotten across and closer to the building with the uplink. Mr. Beefy's still going to be looking in towards that window. I think, did he spot? It looks like he spotted Toast there for a second.
I think he did. I think he did, and he might have gone for the comm call out just to let Soda know he's up in that corner. But Soda has his work cut out for him. If he can charge up the stairs and get a pick, then Beefy may be able to catch Toast trying to react as he stands to look for the shot. But if Toast stays crouched, and this could amount to nothing. It could all be up to the one member.
There's a grenade there.
Yeah.
And a smoke.
So he's going around cannibalizing now. He wants to grab a couple of different items. Maybe he'll toss a smoke up there. There's the shield leaned against the wall. Sees through it, can shoot over it. Really nice use.
If you get a nade in that corner, there's no way. Oh, he's actually going to push. Raphael gets around the corner because he hears the grenade being cocked and gets the quick frag and backs away. The shield's going to fall, but hey, they're going to be happy with the 2-on-1 man advantage.
That was a really good play.
Oh,
He heard the pin come out of the nade. It's something you have to pull. It's that audio. I mean, audio is huge in this game, but a great reaction move from Raph there to charge down the stairs. Now there's a smoke on the stairs, and Beefy, this doesn't help him at all to have a smoke down there.
No, it doesn't, and it looks like he's not going to be pre-firing that corner. As we do know, there is a grenade at least on the inside that he could use if he's able to get into this. It's looking like he wants to potentially push up using that window, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to catch a little angle there onto Raph. Just the slightest of angles through that window. I'm surprised he doesn't see Raph there.
He's going for shots, but doesn't look like he's going to connect. He somehow takes it down. 1-on-1 now, Mr. Beefy and Toast.
A must-win for SMC or they lose this map.
He knows that Toast was there, right? Because he saw him earlier on from the tank.
Yep.
So is he going to assume that he's still in this position? He still has a lot of time to work with here. There's a very good chance he could pick up a grenade and try to clear that angle.
The reason Toast is back there, though, is because he's worried about the nade. If a nade comes out,
he's doing it.
He's going to try to throw it. He's going to smoke him out. He's trying to smoke out Toast from that entryway to the hallway and come up it. A unique use of that nade there from Beefy. I don't think it's going to do the job he wants it to, though. It's going to be up to him to catch Toast as he peeks up over this corner. He finds Toast. SMC Tactical stay in at 3-3.
Massive play out of Mr. Beefy there. Somehow pulling off a 1v2. Taking on Raphael behind that shield.
Wow, really nice, calculated moves from Beefy.
Yeah, there he is right there on your screen. His legs have to be killing him too because, like I was saying before, I was watching him and he was literally crouched the entire time.
Yeah, I think it's something you should all be kind of looking at as you watch the game. Try and key in on your favorite player, someone that you see in that FPS view, and see what they're doing in real life because it is unique.
He also has fantastic socks, by the way. Pickle Rick. You guys
Those
are
good. And actually, that's a different mentality, I guess. Socks or shoes.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of players here actually in shorts and pants, and some with socks and some with shoes. And I mean, do you personally have a preference when it comes to that?
I want personally shorts and a tee because it gets so hot out when you're playing. I want to feel this really good AC in this arena and just be able to relax and play comfortably. I've had to labor through the 80-degree no AC in the apartment playing Oculus, and it is tough. The sweat starts to pour down your eyes. It gets in your eyes. It blinds you. It is no fun thing to deal with. So nobody wants that, and I'm surprised to see actually some sweats coming out of these guys. And here we have this replay.
Yeah, you hear the pin being pulled. He rushes down. The thing is, that's so risky to do because you don't know where Mr. Beefy is. You don't know if he was watching that angle and covering him.
What you also don't know if that was a smoke or a frag. So he just heard the pin get pulled. He didn't know if that was a smoke or a frag. The frag could have been cooking as he charged down there. It could have been lobbed around that corner and meant for him as he went down the stairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of risk, a lot of calculated risk reward there. Pays off for that moment, but ultimately Beefy.
When you're SMC, like the mental factor that comes into that too, of like not expecting him to rush around the corner, then all of a sudden he's there and he eliminates you. And they were on match point too, or at least map point. So if that little slight mistake of not expecting him to come around the corner cost you that map, the mentality into map 2 would be so detrimental to you and your team.
Yeah, it really it could definitely be a hit to the emotions, to the momentum of the squad.
And considering they started things off 2-0 as well, pushing it now to map point. Winner of this round will win the map. And if they can pull off this map here for SMC,
oh my gosh,
then go on to map of their choice with Bazaar.
Oh, don't get me going.
There's a chance that SMC could topple the Giants. And I think it's when we were talking about like who's casting which game here for this one, you wanted this match. You wanted to cast SMC because you had that much faith in what Sickness can bring to the team.
Yeah, I knew we were going to get something spectacular like we have right now. A close 3-3 on Suburbia. This is Globochem's pick nonetheless. SMC, they can take this map. They go into their pick. They can take the series next map on Bazaar. They can shut down the #1 team in the league, the dominating squad that has won multiple tournaments. They've
number one
themselves.
In the season, #1 in previous seasons. Like, this is not a team that just came together all of a sudden. This is a team that's been around in the VR Master League, actually. This is where all the action's coming from. And have been playing continually season in, season out, and have consistently been the best team.
I mean, I know it's hard to sort of wrap your head around, but some of these guys literally have over 1,000 hours in this game. They've put that headset on for 1,000 hours and have played Onward because they love it so much, and there's such a high skill gap that they feel like they can continuously invest time into it. It's one of the only games that I feel like that's out on the Oculus that is something where you can just play forever. It's never ending. There's no lifespan.
You're always learning something as well. You're learning about new
Absolutely.
angles. You're learning about like, new positions that are being held or used against you. You're learning about new tactics of how to get aggressive and push. There's definitely, I'd still say even, you know, if we look a couple months from now, that teams will be so much better than they currently are.
It's really cool to actually see new teams come into the league and be so good. It's like a shock because
we've had a couple of those actually. I remember covering. I think it was Sleepy P. I can't remember the team he was on. I almost want to say Silent Purge.
Yeah, that was Sleepy.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the analyst desk with us.
Yeah, and like they came out of nowhere and just surprised everyone. And actually, no, it was Pac. It was Pac 1. Pac 1. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry. And it was, his name was Sleepy, but it was Sleepy P.
Different
Anyways,
Sleepy.
but we've seen teams like that come out of nowhere and do well. But we've seen Globochem consistently be at the top, and that's why they're the top dogs. And that's why we're kind of surprised to see SMC push them to this point. But we got our new position for uplink. We got SMC on the defense. We got Globochem on the attack here, and Globochem definitely slowing the pace down.
Yeah, they have pushed up a little bit. We actually have the same objective we had last time over by that burning building area. And you can kind of see that Globochem has stacked up 3 onto that east side near objective. They're going to try and push down into that little, into that park behind the house and make some noise with smokes and frags, and then come in onto objective together as a squad.
I want to know who's the player very west here for Globochem. Who's the player that could potentially pull off that flank? Is it Thunder Pilot?
No, that is Toast.
Okay, so Toast has an opportunity to pull a massive play here too.
And he's a very reserved player, so it's not surprising to send actually one of your reserved players in a 3v3 to do the flanking, because you're going to maybe burn down to 3 minutes, 2:30 left, get these guys on edge, and then Toast will try and find a pick. You can see some frags. That's a common one to be tossed out into the center. Doesn't catch Pants out. Now more coming out, lots of smokes, tons of smokes on the objective. This is interesting because now that the smokes are out, they have to move. This is the time that Globochem is going to attack.
Yeah, look at that. Speaking of them attacking, they've actually all picked up the pace here. Toast is regrouped with his team from the western side. Pants pushing up. Landon as well, trying to get a different position to play that edge of the smoke.
Super
Sickness
risky.
as well. Prone down, trying to slowly push up to cover some angles. They were trying to meet them head-to-head when it comes to his aggression, but the West Hand flankers with Toast there, he still can easily come up big for his team.
This is insanely risky for Sickness to be there. All these guys are in insane positions. They're so out in the open. Toast gets picked off by Beefy. A nice early pick. Now there's 4v5 advantage. Pants is going to try and rotate around. He gets shot. A team
That's a
kill.
team kill.
Otto's now susceptible. He finally gets the pick, and now it's actually a 2v3. SMC get naded. Now we're in a 2v2 with the potential reses out. All sorts of members down on the objective. Reses coming out for SMC.
This could be a 4v2. This 100% should be a 4v2. And Globochem have to somehow stay alive from this one. That team kill might come back to haunt them here.
That was unbelievable. I can't believe to have Globochem, the best team, falter and have a team kill right there on communication. It's just devastating to that squad because they were in positions to capitalize and push forward. Now Thunder also tries to catch out the rotation on the res, doesn't get it.
Exactly. Sickness is in a really bad spot, but because they've rotated over to that direction, now they could res Sickness, have that 4v2, and almost guarantee have the round and the map. You can see Leonard, he wants to go for it, but he has to be so careful. He has to clear a couple more angles, couple more positions. There it is. Soda's going to be the one to do it.
The aggression is unreal right now because SMC is they feel that they're so close to having this. They can actually take map number 1 against Globochem. It would be a huge, huge advantage. Landon is getting so aggressive pushing up here. He's trying to catch Rap out.
He didn't see him?
No, suppressive shots coming around from the other side, so he reacts. He tries to rotate around. Rap tosses a nade out. Doesn't catch Landon as he charges forward. He's looking for Rap out. Rap with the one-handed shots finds Landon.
So they got the 2-on-1 over there. They know where the two players are. They can hear the shots this direction. Pancake should have an idea.
No, Soda's down. We're into a 2v2.
He could be rezzed up though, but it's going to be very difficult to do. So you can see the spam come in through the wood. Planks are able to catch it when a Thunder Pilot trying to use that shield from Raphael to give him some sort of cover.
There's the res.
Soda's back up. He got the 3-on-2. Pancake gets the information, can make the call. He's doing it just now. And Raphael's looking for the charge. He's got the nade. He's got an opportunity to pick this one up, but he has to be so careful. 2 minutes of time left on the board.
Oh my gosh, this is insane. He just almost gets shot by Pancake there as he rotates around. These footsteps are loud and proud. Pancake hears him on his left, pokes around, doesn't find the shots. 2 minutes left now.
Oh,
Pancake
the window.
getting aggressive, finds the shield, rotates back into the house. Man, these shots. Thunder now tries to find him, he doesn't get it. Pancake catches Thunder, now it's a 3v1.
Raphael with the shield and a dream.
No,
it's not going to be enough. And SMC will take the round, they'll take the map, and be one map away from getting through to the main stage to play for that 25,000.
What? Wow. That is fantastic. We have ourselves a series today.
We definitely do. Globochem seen as the top dog, getting toppled on the first map, and it came down to the final round. It came down to that team kill that happened, unfortunately.
Yep.
It came down to some like risky communication between SMC there when they had like a 3-on-1 or a 3-on-2. There was definitely a chance they could have messed that one up, but they did it. They were able to pull this one off, and you're seeing the effect of Sickness on the team right off the bat.
Yeah, he definitely pulled his team together and managed them as effective as he possibly could. I mean, the aggression here out of this defensive squad is insane. To have Landon pushing up like this is maddening. I mean, Raphael with another nice shot under the shield. You saw him pushing it up over himself, shooting underneath it. Just something else you can do in VR and only in VR.
So let's kind of break that game down a little bit here.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Globochem off to a rocky start, being down 0-2. They did tie things up and actually take the lead going 3-2. What went wrong for them? Or do you think maybe it's what went right for SMC?
I think it's what went a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
It's always column A, not always column B as well.
Sorry, because I feel like Globochem could have sort of brought something unique here. I was expecting them, after having so many months of being alone almost on their own island of strategy, to bring something that you just don't see. I guess we kind of did see that with Raph and the shield usage. That's something that nobody has done in the league until today. But there weren't any seemingly coordinated, unique plays out of them. They tried to throw the 5 smokes. They tried to all push together, but that's just typical Globochem, and that's strategy that you should have as one of these top teams regardless. You should be moving together no matter what, and I think we saw that with both of them.
And looking at this, too, they're both teams that hail from North America.
Yeah.
Right? So they've not been able to play each other because they should have known come into this that, hey, we're going to be playing the first match, Seed 1 versus Seed 4. So they had to play some other teams. So they had no information on each other, but they also weren't scrimming like the best teams in the region at the same time. So they had to kind of like take the skill level down a little bit and prepare for this somehow. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm surprised to see how teams prepare for these games because it's not easy. I mean, you're going to have to play against another squad if you really want to get the best practice you can in. And so scrims against lower tier teams don't cut it. We actually did see a lot of mirrored matches, I think SMC versus boss fight, stuff like that. So they did get some good practice in so that they could pull off plays like this, I mean, and defend against an insane push. This is ridiculous. Raphael.
Like right there, remember we were talking before about like in games like Counter-Strike, you could hold a button and like defuse the bomb or plant the bomb, right? Here, there was an opportunity for him to upload the code, but the thing is, it's so many numbers, it's something you have to memorize, and that's something you can look at while you're playing that in another type of game, he might have been able to pull off the 2 points.
Yeah, you may
Sickness wasn't been able to stop that.
You may have been looking at that replay thinking, why hasn't the 2-point come in? It's because he's sitting there looking at a code, memorizing 7 points, punching it in under panic, and Sickness has 7-10 seconds usually is what it takes for someone to cap until that goes off, and he got there just in time. But I just love seeing these shield plays because you can do such unique things like that. You can grab a rifle from a downed body and then use it as your weapon and have the shield there. It's inaccurate, obviously, but people have found ways to use it effectively because Raph got a bunch of kills with it.
Do you think we're going to continue to see some stuff that hasn't been shown? Because we did have like a big patch come into the game before getting here. It was back in Leicester, but it wasn't played then. So there's a lot of opportunities for things that we haven't seen to be used.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my understanding is a lot of these squads have been saving strategies.
I would hope so.
I think SMC picking Bazaar, now is when we're going to see something unique out of them. Now is when we're going to see maybe something uncharacteristic, a really aggressive 5-man push, or 5 frag grenades coming out, or 10 smoke grenades, something wild that really requires everyone on the team to be on the same page because they've obviously practiced this map. This is their choice. If they can take it, I mean, here we have Globochem talking it up. They're discussing what they can do differently this time around because they need to answer back now.
Yeah, they definitely do. The thing is, it's not like a double elimination tournament. No. You lose this next map here for Globochem, and you're done.
Yeah.
Luckily for them, they don't have far to fly back home because they're not a European team, but they don't want to be out just yet, obviously. They want to be the team to go through all the way and win the whole thing. But now going on to Bazaars, they're starting to get ready, putting headsets back on. Where's the real strengths? And let's just talk about strengths for the teams. We'll save the weaknesses until we know they have their soundproof headphones back on.
There you go. I think SMC Tactical are a very good close quarters team. We saw them succeed on Suburbia in a lot of situations, but Bazaar is also another close quarters map. It's not necessarily something where we see really long-range angles. You have a lot of tight corners, a lot of negotiating small alleyways.
A couple like gaps between buildings you can shoot down.
Yeah, but ultimately you're not going to be sniping. No one's going to be having a sniper. I mean, that would be a unique choice. If we saw someone come out with a 12 times on Bazaar, I would be shocked. But also one of the key things I think about Bazaar is it has the most wood. And we didn't really talk about it much last round, but a lot of this stuff is penetrable. Wood, bullets can go through it. A lot of the boxes that you see people crouching behind, bullets can go through. It adds kind of a different element to the game because, yeah, you can crouch behind a wood box. No one's going to see you, but if you shoot and they know you're there, or if they decide this is a common defensive strategy, I'm gonna shoot into that box, they can actually just get a free kill there.
Yeah.
So it has its trades. The pluses and minuses of utilizing this penetrable cover is definitely more prevalent in Bazaar than any other map.
And I feel like on this map too that we have the potential to see really slow play and really fast play. If you have the uplink put towards the marketplace and towards the center of the map, that's a really good spot to get very aggressive on really quickly. We've seen a couple positions like towards the northwest side or the southwest side where you see a lot of coverage of different angles, a lot of defensive plays, teams being very slow to actually push up aggressively. But there's also a lot of flank paths.
Yeah, and I think what that actually was something we haven't talked about is it kind of factors in the spawn points of the enemy. So depending on where an objective is placed, there's 2 potential spawn points for the enemy to go to. Oftentimes on Bazaar in particular, one of those spawn points is a very fast spawn. You're typically closer to the objective than you would be with the other spawns, so you can move quicker to that objective, and it forces Marsoc to be ready for anything, because if you're attacking, you don't know where you're going to start. So you don't know what, per se, the best attacking strategy would be on an objective. So I'm curious to see what we see on Bazaar, because, like I said, SMC should break out strategies, but Globochem are not going to go down without a fight by any means.
And one thing I want to mention as well for people here who don't know much about Onward, or if you're watching online, you don't know a lot about the game, there is this 2-minute window between rounds, and I kind of want you to explain what happens in this 2-minute, because we obviously are not seeing it from any of their perspectives, but there is something happening between rounds.
Yeah, between rounds, there's a 2-minute countdown timer. Once that's up, you have to start the round. It forces the teams to be readied up quicker, so we don't have long, drawn-out time between rounds. But also, there's a whiteboard in there that has the map. A couple of pens, the secret pen also, if you can find it. A little unique color there. But they actually will take those pens and draw up strategies. I'm going to cover this spot on the map. I'm going to cover this spot. It's shared between just your team. And so if you pay attention between rounds, you'll kind of see these guys painting or drawing into the air. You might be wondering what they're doing. It's because they're marking out strategies on that whiteboard, trying to hash out an effective plan for this objective. If we spawn here, let's attack this way. If we spawn here, let's attack that way. All sorts of things can kind of be drawn up on that whiteboard, but we don't see it because I think the players like to keep their strats secret.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that, but I just wanted to give you guys like the ability to realize that, because again, other like esports, you don't have the option to like literally sit down in a virtual reality world and like show your strategies. You can talk about it and try to explain it and try to show them if they spectate you. But in this game, you can physically show them on a whiteboard of the map of like what you want them to do, what angles you want them to hold, and like how you want to play.
Yeah, and I guess after playing it so long, I do kind of gloss over that. Yeah, that's all in VR also. You were physically reaching out, grabbing a pen, marking up a whiteboard in front of you in your space. I mean, everything about this game is catered to use the Oculus Rift to its most potential. I can't think of a mechanic that doesn't simulate realism or trick your mind into simulating that it's real.
Yeah, I mean, you can unfortunately eliminate yourself with a knife that's right next to your radar, which we saw happen back in Leicester. So very realistic, and obviously these teams now, as they set their eyes on Bazaar, at least for SMC and for the 3 substitutes they brought with them, or even 4 substitutes they brought with them, the giant roster they do have, are looking at like, we could do this. We could pull this one off.
Yeah.
We could be on the main stage. We could be playing for 25 grand. We were talking to some of the players actually at lunch, talking to Edna, actually, who's married to Landon. And she was saying, like, we're just happy to be here. You know, the money is great, but we're glad to be, attending and playing. I think if I asked her again, though, if they get into the grand finals to over double what they could make, she might have a different story.
Yeah, I'd be willing to guess you'd have a different tune as well. I think also on Bazaar in particular, just we can keep talking about mechanics of the game. I think one of the things you'll see here is exchanging of utility. So when you spawn into a round, you actually have only 8 points you can spend. So you can, typically a rifle, when you go into your loadout, when you're in the lobby, a rifle will cost you 1 or 2 points. A scope costs you 1 or 2 points, depending on what scope you're putting on it. A grip costs points, and all of those add up to 8 total points. So grenades cost points. All of this comes into factoring, okay, what can I take with me this time? So you'll have some guys run 2 smoke grenades and a fully kitted out rifle, and then come into the game and exchange a smoke with another player because he couldn't get one on his loadout. That LMG player will take one of his spare LMG clips and give it to a rifle user who can then take a big old 100 clip drum and snap it into his rifle and use that. And so you can kind of tweak your kits within your team once you load into these lobbies. And I think we'll see that a lot in Bazaar if we do kind of key in on those the very first start of the rounds.
And I'm wondering if we did have SMC go for the substitution that they did call ahead of time.
Yes, we did. I think Hooney coming in.
All right, so Hooney coming in for Soda for this map, as I believe. And Globochem not actually going for a substitution until we get to a 3rd map. If we do get to a 3rd map, I have to say Nightfire, which I never thought to expect when talking about Globochem of seeing a 3rd map, where Arsenic will be coming in for Raphael. But Globochem, the thing is, if you for both teams actually, substitutions, you're not warmed up, right? You don't have like your settings necessarily 100% done. You're not feeling warmed and ready. You didn't get to play the last map, so you don't know how Globochem are playing and to kind of adapt your style off of that. So it's very difficult to do. It's very risky to throw subs in, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
And like physicality, height, plays a major importance.
Everybody take a little gander over there at Hooney, the tall drink of water in the corner, and that's who they've subbed in. He is the one that's come in, and he'll be able to shoot over certain walls on this map, over certain bits of cover that maybe someone that's not 6'5", that's not a giant, can't see over. So that's why they bring him in for certain maps. We talked about that earlier. I wanted to wait until everybody had their headsets on, but that's why he's here, so that he can get those unique positions.
Yeah, and we're going to see, obviously, that come into effect, hopefully, when we do kick off this map. But I wonder, is he prepared? Because, you know, they obviously they have a map they could throw, but winning 2-0 going to the grand finals is much better than winning 2-1 because you get more time to relax. You know, we actually talked about this. You weren't there in Leicester, but Radar Head was talking to us about like playing 2 back-to-back best-of-3s or, you know, best-of-3 into best-of-5. It's very draining, especially in a game like this.
Well, in SMC, Mr. Beefy, I know he was having like back issues at one of the Leicester events. So, I mean, yeah, you're physical. You're working out hard. And when you have so many series to complete in a day, you're taxed. You're out of breath. I think the environment here is really fantastic, so it does cater to this esports atmosphere a little bit better. It's nice and chilly. These guys probably not feeling too hot in the headsets, hopefully. But yeah, a long series can absolutely drain you. But I think we've talked a lot about SMC and not too much about what Globo is going to be doing here. Globochem is a powerhouse team that does not roll over if they've lost a round, which they have had happen before. They're not undefeatable. They've lost maps before in the VR Master League. Heck, they lost a map, I think, last week to Danglers. So they're not unbeatable in this sense, but the hard thing is to take a series from Globochem. That's the real challenge. To take 2 games from them is not it is tough.
Put your eyes towards the very bottom left. There's that whiteboard we were talking about on one of the monitors next to the player. Just drawing on what they want to do, hopefully drawing PG things.
Nothing unsavory.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see, like, they're trying to make the calls. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. They're drawing on the board to figure out their plan of attack or plan of defense here, and angles they do want to cover. But we should be kicking this off momentarily, Nightfire. We should be getting underway with our second map. And I never thought I'd be saying, but Globochem are on the ropes from being knocked out.
They are. They are backs against the wall, but I don't know if that's the kind of Globochem you want. I don't think the backs against the wall Globochem.
Have they ever been, like, pushed hard that you've seen in matches?
I mean, I have seen them lose maps. Like I was saying earlier, they have lost maps. So just because they lost this first map, they're by no means down and out. Granted, it is an SMC pick, and they typically are very good on their own picks. But they're the best. I would say they're some of the best players in the league by far. So they're not going to be a team that's going to be easy to take this one from.
Well, I really wonder what's going to go on if somehow SMC pull off a 2-pointer.
Oh my gosh!
Just imagine first round, they get off a 2-pointer. We'll see if it's going to happen here as we're loaded in. SMC on the defense, Globochem on the attack. This is our second map in our best-of-3. And SMC have to win just this one alone to get through into the grand finals.
Kind of talk about spawns here. This is a northeast corner, kind of a quick one. They can crash
There's
that
the
street.
smoke, by the way. Trading off the smoke to Sickness.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Exchanging of utility there. But this east approach, they're actually not going to utilize their spawn. What sometimes you'll see is guys that get that northeast corner spawn, they'll cross street here early like Landon is, but he actually gets caught out by Otto. A really nice spot, really long range shot actually, something that's very rare to see, but a nice tag from him catches this early rotation out.
Just a quick little correction. Globochem are actually on the defense here and SMC on the attack.
Right.
So ignore that on the top-hand side. SMC do have the opportunity to potentially pull off a great little start here if they can somehow get a 2-pointer. But the uplink position, can you kind of talk to us really quickly about that while we have a little bit of a lull in the fighting?
Yeah, this one in particular is pretty susceptible to being captured, I suppose. It depends if they can manage to get somebody around this south side. If SMC Tactical, who is the team that is attacking right now, they're not the team defending. If they can cross this street, get south, eliminate the one member down here that's protecting the south side, they have all sorts of potential entry points onto this uplink. Also, there's a very fast front entry point you can take. It's just very risky. So you see one member there in the middle. He'll be the one coming in from the front. Maybe that's Sickness, who will be going prone. He's very fond of getting onto the ground. But it's going to be a little bit of time here. 4:40 left. These guys are probably going to cook it down to 3:30 before they really start to make any sort of moves to get across the street and sort of get into that objective area. But it's not going to be easy. Beefy's going to be in trouble as soon as he tries to make it across this east side.
Yeah, I do like this Globochem defense, too. Like the positions they're holding. They have 3 towards the west, 2 towards the east. But they're covering basically any entrance across that main street. I was looking towards the 2 players out of SMC here, Sickness and Huni have to potentially group up together and make a push through, but
I think maybe even separating that would be an interesting idea because Huni can lead one member. He's a sort of their backup strat guy, and Sickness can lead another. Here they are paired together. That's going to be a devastating duo with their think tank, so to speak, of ideas.
There's got to be a lot of smokes invested into this push, right? They've got to smoke off these crosses.
Yep.
There's just so many angles you can be shot from, and you don't want to fall and meet like we did see Landon do.
Yeah, and I think actually we'll probably see some point smokes. There's sort of different smokes you can do. You can try and fill that entire street with smokes and cross it, or you can throw a smoke right onto where you think somebody's going to be. So if they can smoke out one member that's watching the out through the window on this south street, which is what they're trying to do.
That was a little bit of a misthrown nade.
Yeah, that smoke,
luckily.
If that nade didn't bounce off that rooftop, it would have been right where they wanted it to smoke out that window and they can cross, but it's not smoked out.
We didn't even talk about this, actually. You can, if you're new to Onward, you can actually pick up a smoke grenade that's on the ground and move it. You can literally re-throw it.
You can do it with any grenade.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be a major opportunity for them if they are able to get there in time and get it in the right position. Them
getting across the street and over into this west side is huge because it's the weak side of Globochem's defense. If they can't get over there and defend, I mean, Beefy can cause a distraction, right? He can force these guys to stay over onto the east while that west wreaks havoc. But Beefy's kind of sneaking his way through this defense. This is the right path for him.
Well, the question is, are they going to have him be the distraction, or are they going to distract for him to pull off the flank? Pancake does take down Pants, so SMC keeps themselves on the board. Yeah, keeps things at 4 apiece. And they did lose him towards that eastern side of the uplink, but it's still going to be that one player there, and I think that player has not been spotted out too much yet.
Man, Huni Half's looking for Toast here through the window. He can't find him. Toast with a nice pickoff denying this east approach from Huni. It's up to these guys that are pushing up this middle street here. They're unseen. Sickness and Beefy, I believe, on the other side. If they can pincer this objective while they send one in from the Bazaar front, they have a chance of capping, but it's going to require a lot of teamwork, a lot of communication, and they're going to have to get maybe another pick or two before they can really get in there and potentially put 2 up on the board. This is their map. That's important to remember. This is their map pick, so I expect SMC to be feeling confident right now.
I would hope they'd be confident, but we have to obviously really weigh into the fact of, like, map picks, are they really that important? Because most teams should know every map. Obviously, knowing one map better than the rest makes it your choice, but Globochem, them being the #1 team in the world for so long now, you would assume they have to be able to play Bazaar.
I think it kind of goes back to the whole watching of footage and breaking down strategies. I feel like SMC probably feel like they're more capable of making something happen here. Beefy did manage to sneak his way all the way through that defense until finally Thunder caught him. But that's finally Beefy getting shut down, and now it's all up to Sickness and Pancake here.
See Otto watching that spot. Pancake's going to drop him, though.
Really nice shot. Such a tight angle right there.
Much needed, too.
He's actually in this blue room. He's very close to objective. He finds another one. Pancake is a serious threat here. Raph realizes this, tosses a smoke out. A frag onto objective, actually, and now he's going to be looking over towards Pancake. The rotation gets caught out by Sickness. SMC are up 2-1. Sickness is on objective. He can cap around the corner, but it's denied by Pancake. SMC grabbed themselves 1 point instead of 2.
A little celebration going on between Pancake and Sickness there. They were down 4-2, like you said, and were able to come back and take the round off a really good position out of Pancake, able to get those 2 massive kills in the blue room.
I'd love for our teams to get swapped here. Globochem is on the left.
Yeah, we'll be this round, don't worry.
Okay.
We're all good. We're going to be all sorted and ready to go, but Globochem, they lost the first 2 rounds in the last map on Suburbia, and they did come back. So even losing just this first one, you're not going to count them out just yet.
But that is not a good start. I mean, it's fantastic it's actually just the start they needed for SMC, because to put Globochem on their back foot on your map pick, it puts them in a situation that they're not used to being in. Globochem typically isn't on the back foot. They aren't a team that has to come back because usually they're dominating. They're up in the front. They're up in the forefront. They're leading the series, almost every series I've watched. So to see them now be down the second map after just losing one is interesting. Raph tried to throw a frag there because he was worried Pancake was going to push up, but that converging from Sickness was so key, catching Raph out right there. And what Sickness could have done was pushed up a little bit further into that building and actually gone and tucked himself into a corner and started punching in the pad. And I think that's what he was going to do, but Pancake got the kill.
So I respect Thunder Pilot there, because what he did was he rushed it, so they had to shoot him.
Yep.
So I think he knew most likely we're going to lose the round, yes, but I'm going to make it a 1-point loss instead of a 2-point.
Yeah, because although you can't kill yourself in this game, if he were to kill himself, that would have been 2 points to Marsoc. It's a strategy it's a something that's
Deterrent,
built into the game, to deny that sort of mentality. So instead he goes, well, I'll just fling myself out there. Maybe I can get a double kill, be the clutch play of the day, but doesn't work out for him. And
yeah, worst case is preventing that 2 points, because that mentally it breaks you, and physically in the game too.
Right. Being
down 2-0 off the first round. That's never a position you want to be in, but hey, they got their chance to attack coming up in a few seconds, and they're going to have the opportunity to go for a 2-pointer if they can. But SMC get the defensive position, and Globochem, they're going to be struggling here.
Just a quick reminder, if you are stopping in and looking at this, Globochem is on the left, SMC Tactical on the right. They actually are the one with that 1-point lead. And here are the smokes we were talking about. They didn't go for point smokes. Instead, they went for smokes on the entire street. Otto and Thunder dumping 3 or 4 smokes. Their Toast might have to offer one up as well as they cross, and they do manage to get across relatively safety. Thunder gets into cover there. Otto is exposed in that little gap between the smokes, but those are good. Those are really great smokes denying vision there. That's a frag maybe coming out?
I don't think it's going to catch on anyone either way.
Another smoke.
But look at Thunderpilot, though. He's pushing up very quickly, and the majority here of Globochem are pushing up that west-hand side.
This is a play from Globochem, 100%. This is a planned play.
But this one defender out of SMC towards the east, actually in towards Globochem's side of the map. That one, I wonder what he's going to be able to see from there. I wonder if he's going to have any avenue to actually shut them down, or if they'll expect it.
He's on a second story, so he actually has a little bit of sight over these smokes. But now that they're here, he should be looking out towards Thunder. Thunder also aware of that potential catwalk position, so he's kind of conscious. And this smoke was followed up by Thunder to keep Otto covered. I mean, it's just beautiful to see these guys coordinating their smoke plays as they move. And I think
Hooney!
Oh, wow, that was a good, really good nade catching Hooney. That's key, because now they have that whole side open to attack from.
Let's be fair to SMC, though. They're used to playing from behind. They did in the last round. They can do it again here as they're now down 5-4. You can never count them out. Sickness, though, looking to get aggressive here and push up. Another nade is going to be raining in. He actually going to come around this corner. He's looking for the shot. He's not going to have an opportunity just yet as Otto is on the second floor. But Otto's pretty much locked down here, and Landon comes in big with the kill into Thunderpilot.
I think that was him on the... No, he's at Ice Cream Truck and got that pick. Otto looking for Sickness underneath him. Sickness is super confused because he heard footsteps here, and he's looking for Otto somewhere, but he doesn't know where he is. Otto's up on that second story, and now Sickness is looking for anybody else that's tried to cross this street and catch him out.
And Sona and Globochem actually has backed away on towards the northeast side, too, so trying to hold down an angle that's already been used by the side of SMC.
If he comes in the back, he has 1 or 2 out in the open he can catch.
Well, that's the upside to observing for us, that we get to see what he could do.
Right.
But it's about whether he can. Toast to take down Sickness with a great shot through the window. So Globochem going to be maintaining the man advantage here.
4v2 there. All on objective, though. The SMC Tactical are staying close. They're not going to let a cap come out here. Just like Thunder sort of rushed out into the open to get himself almost killed, I think SMC are not going to allow a cap to happen here.
Yeah, they shouldn't. That should just be a all-in-all smart play. You can see Otto trying to change the angle he's looking. We haven't seen the tablet play yet, where you kind of like bait them in with like the tablet to go for shots so you get some angles, but I would guess on a map like this you don't necessarily need to.
No, it's more on like something like Downfall or a longer range map here. Pants actually finds Pwnecake, confirms the kill now, and Otto comes charging into the objective, gets Landon down. Actually, that's Raph on that backside, that flank coming in key, and now there's only 1 member left on SMC Tactical to defend from this cap. It's up to Beefy. If they can get this Otto inside this corner, he can get 2 points here.
Potentially, shots being routed off. It's Beefy trying to come around the corner. He's trying to prevent this from happening. He just needs to like run out there and potentially just die. He needs to keep them away. You can see them, they're trying not to finish him off as they wanted to go for the uplink, but either way, Globochem will take the round, and we'll tie things up now at 1 apiece. Yeah,
that's exactly what Otto was doing. He was actually backing away from the fight because he wanted to get his team some time to also get up there and potentially cap that objective. At some point, you just have to decide, I'll take 1 point instead of 2. You go out and get that kill, and now they're tying 1-1.
Pat that KD if you potentially can, but it's well done. I mean, Globochem, they had the strong start. They had the man advantage for the entire time, and SMC just kind of got read into there. But you were saying like that, you thought that was a planned strategy at Globochem.
Yeah, I saw smokes at certain times that just, I don't know why you would throw those out unless you're preparing for another move.
Right.
Right. So it's their smokes are out there so that once one dies, that's the next spot forward is going to be covered by a smoke. They can move up behind that smoke now. It's exactly what they did. They got Otto open to that 2-story, and it was a key spot for him to be. Got a couple picks up there, wreaked some havoc with Sickness on the rotations.
Well, SMC really wasn't even sure he was there. I think it was it Sickness. He was kind of confused, like they just got one. They're like, wait, is there a second player? Because he obviously heard someone running around the corner, but mind games.
Yeah.
As we can say here, Nightfire.
Yeah, there's a lot of mind games, and you can use that sound to sort of play with these players. You can stand up, sprint one way, crouch, move another. Actually, what you saw there was auto-confirming kills too. So something a lot of players will do is shoot down bodies to make sure they're dead so that they can't be rezzed. Beefy with the flashlight here tries to blind auto. That's why he had the flashlight. He wanted to bring gun up, blind auto, get that shot off, but he just couldn't do it in time as he rounded that corner.
Yeah, and you saw auto try to run away like you mentioned before. But there you see Mr. Beefy on your screen, obviously discussing what they want to do into this next round as they will be attacking.
Yeah,
they want to maintain a lead if they possibly can.
Curious to see what objective we're going to be on here, as that'll determine sort of what attack we might see. If it's something, again, like we just talked about, that middle bazaar area. This is actually a very fast spawn. This is one of the spawns that you can get that's very quick. We're all sorted now with the teams on the right sides. This says SMC attacking. They can actually sprint all the way up through this wooded middle bazaar area and get right up in the face of this Volk defense. That's exactly what they're going to do too. They're getting right up into that courtyard area. They're moving very fast. We might have some early trades here in that middle courtyard near objective.
A couple of smokes being thrown in for Globochem as well to cover off some angles. You can see Sickness down the street, not able to get a shot onto anyone. His pants does cross the street, though actually a couple of shots routed off. Maybe some timing. Maybe there actually was a slight hole that Sickness did see, but wasn't able to connect those first initial shots. But the players for SMC, look at this on the north-hand side. They've actually pushed up towards the uplink. They're almost there, funny enough.
Yeah.
There's only really one person to defend.
The smokes now, they're going to throw that smoke down a very small alleyway right onto objective. That's going to smoke the objective for Pwnkick to push in. They need to find Raph on objective, and then they're up for a potential chance to cap here. Pwnkick getting team killed by Landon's the last thing they needed. He's just down though, so Landon's going to rotate around and get the res.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a lot of apologies coming out right there. Oh, and a little trade coming out. 1 for 1 there. SMC kind of take a look at some of these guys as they go prone. Some of these dudes are literally diving to get down in time so they can get into cover.
But Raph is still going to be inside the building. He's still there protecting the uplink as SMC try to close all different angles around this with Landon. If he actually picks up this elimination, if he can get someone to Raph, he actually gets the shot off to him. He might be able to make the call where he is. Raph going to come around the corner. He does get Landon down. But now, yeah, he's trying to come in from the side. There's some protection though coming in out of Toast, who gets the kill onto him. And Globochem have held on. It's 3-on-3 now as the res comes in.
Whoa, what? He just rezzed an enemy! He just rezzed an enemy and the enemy came up and got the kill. What just happened right there? He couldn't tell. He had a downed body right next to an enemy. He went to res his friend and instead picked up an enemy who got the kill. That's insane. I've never seen that ever in Onward.
I think we're going to see a replay of that after this round,
yes,
actually.
Please.
I was a little bit confused seeing, wait, what? You could, blue resing orange? Why are you doing that? Trying to handicap yourself, potentially? But it's still 2-on-2. We still got 4 minutes left. We have a lot of time left to work with here. Hooneyhalf very, very far away for the uplink. Mr. Beefy's still going to be there, and it looks like they might be able to regroup. Well, hopefully not shoot each other.
Yeah, Beefy over here is looking for this east approach. It's so risky to have him situated so far away from objective when you're in a 2v2, though. If that objective guy goes down, he's going to have to crash over towards objective and cap it. I don't know. This is an interesting defensive layout from these guys.
Well, we can see here, though, SMC have slowed the pace down. Raphael might give up an angle or might have an angle in a few seconds. But again, constantly pulling out the tablet, trying to see how many people are left alive, trying to see, more importantly, where your teammate is around the map. I would imagine they're going to kind of, or would try to like group up together to make the push so you can go off for those trade kills.
Yeah, I think they're going to try and make that happen from the east. This courtyard area is the way to make it work.
I just really hope they don't shoot each other.
I know, it's such a terrible risk. I mean, they should see each other on the pad, so he knows he has Hooney over here. He should at least.
Oh, stop! Oh, God, butt chinks clenched moment right there.
Wow, and nade actually, that was a fantastic toss to answer back to those shots. They heard Hooney's rounds go off in that corner, and he tried to toss a frag over to that corner to pick him off. Information maybe.
If there was ever a time to like miss a shot, that was it for SMC.
Yeah, that's actually utility gone too for Globochem, so that frag's not going to be able to come out to Beefy as he makes his approach up to that center area.
Oh, Hooney though. Yeah,
we're going to have an engagement 100%. I mean, Toast is holding that angle. Oh, you know what? Hooney's not going to go inside. He's going to keep progressing and take that big entry point with his teammate.
Oh, Toast now. Like, actually, the positions he's in.
That's a good nade. That's right over.
Has he got the distance? He got the angle?
Nope.
As we saw, not going to take him down. The smoke's coming in. Now we know the crash is going to come in eventually here out of SMC. You can see Rap trying to reposition. Toast still going to be there, though. I think Beefy actually spotted him out. And he does get not the elimination because Toast takes him down. And there is Toast to come in again from the back. Globochem will take the 2-1 lead here, but that was a very interesting round to say the least.
I'd love to see that replay on the res, but also a very fantastic defense from Toast. A nice little double kill there. They were right on top of objective. Could have been chaos, but he shuts it down. That was interesting.
Seeing Huni almost kill Beefy there, that would have been very unfortunate. But yeah, we did have a couple of res to go off in that round. Remember, Landon did down Pancake before.
Oh, that's true. So that was the friendly res.
Yep, and then, I mean, obviously, SMC trying to help out Globochem, saying, hey, you guys lost the first map. Let me help you out. Let me give you a res.
Really padding the stats, I guess, right there, too,
yeah.
huh? Let me down you. I need more reses on my stat board.
There we go.
Yeah, here's the replay. Thunder picks
up. Oh, so Thunder picked up Pancake, and then Pancake finishes him off. That's,
What?
He's even confused, like, wait, what?
Yeah, I've never seen that. I mean, it's a possibility, right? You can cannibalize an enemy's kit. You can take their guns. You can also certainly take their syringes and resurrect them.
Just a team player, you know? He's a team player. It doesn't matter if he's res his own team or the enemy team. He just wants some good matches. But they won the run anyway, so luckily that didn't change the course of that map.
I couldn't imagine if that's why they lose, because you resurrect an enemy teammate. I mean, that would have been the worst.
You saw, like, once that final kill did come through, had a Pancake onto him, he realized, like, wait, oh, son of a... Obviously, some words are probably said that I can't say on air, but...
I mean, I think that's a mistake, obviously, that's played in from the nerves. You know, you're on stage, you're playing for prize money, you go down quick to go for a res, and instead your hand's shaking around and you res a Marsoc instead of a Volk, and lo and behold, you're getting shot in the back.
You think the worst part is that he's never going to outlive that now.
No, he won't, because frankly, I think he's the only person that's ever done it in any casted league match ever. So
we'll call that the Thunder Pilot.
Yes, that's fantastic. We will indeed.
The enemy team, and then be eliminated by them. But here we go into our next round here. Globochem up 2-1, and SMC going to be back on the defense for the uplink position we just previously had.
Same
Globochem
spawn.
going to get very aggressive in the beginning, like you mentioned before.
Yeah, they have the same spawn, so they're going to be pushing up forward pretty hard. Toast and Raph able to get into this position in this two-story. Landon's trying to answer back with the aggression, though he's on the corner. I think Toast hears this. Landon's in trouble. If Toast peeks up over, reaches his gun around the corner and shoots, he finds Landon. Some really nice shots there. Only something you can do in VR also. Using that gun to peek up over that corner, stick it out over just like that.
He's trying to confirm it. Yep. Exactly. He's like, yeah, I gotcha. I mean, we haven't even really seen that, right? We talked about Huni as being like a lot taller. I mean, he's on his tippy. I'm literally looking at him right now. He's on his tippy toes, trying to see over certain things. But you can obviously, if you have long arms, get the gun around a corner where you're relatively safe and go for a shot.
Yeah, I mean, your real physical stature plays an effect into this game. It's what makes it so much more realistic. It's what makes it so cool when you're playing with your teammates and you see someone that's 6'4" and somebody that's 5'4". You know, you have their actual heights represented in game, and it also lends to a lot more cooler friendships being created. Toast finding Beefy out in the open. I don't know what Beefy's doing over there to get picked. SMC not looking good right now.
Just too bad you can't like put your teammate on your shoulders so they're even taller to see over things you're not supposed to. I wonder how that would actually work.
Well, you know you can stack in Counter-Strike, right?
Exactly.
I think that's something that's in the works for this game as well.
Well,
maybe on the drawing board. I don't know. Either way, another pick. SMC now 2-5. Globochem, if they come in right and play this right, they can get 2 points, take the map 4-1.
SMC have to be very careful about this one. Sickness going to come around the corner.
Huge.
It does get elimination onto Auto, but one's not going to be enough. They have to be very careful. And now with Huni falling, it's just going to be sitting this by himself. He needs to prevent the uplink from obviously being captured. I think Kent knows where he is. I think they want to try to let him just run away. Hopefully not finish him off. And, well, unluckily or luckily, it depends how you look at it for Globochem. They do get the final elimination, and they put themselves now on map point.
Yeah, this is Globochem answering back for losing that first map. Like I said, they are not a team that's going to roll over. They don't let that momentum affect them. They're still playing very much Globochem game. Toast, though, is playing out of his mind, honestly, on Bazaar. I very rarely see him at the top of kill feeds either, so maybe the intense, maybe that pressure he plays well under.
Maybe indeed. Maybe he loves playing on the stage here in front of everyone.
I don't know who wouldn't.
Me, probably, actually. Get way too nervous playing up there.
Too sweaty?
Yeah, too sweaty. But this is still well done. Globochem, after losing the first map too, after, you know, being the team that they probably thought was the team to win the whole thing, to not let that get in your heads, right? To kind of keep your composure, keep your focus into the second map. And this is looking like the Globochem we expected.
Yeah.
Like, these rounds are going their way, and they're going their way so dominantly.
Yeah.
That's the team we expected to be here today.
Yeah, it's not any 1-1s. It's not 2-1 trades. It's 5-1 victories on Marsoc nonetheless. That's something that is not easy to do by any means. Also, maybe it's SMC getting a little too confident. Maybe they're feeling too aggressive. They're getting into spots that are getting them caught out. And then it's all sorts of different factors that could be playing into what we're seeing here. Either way, I'm just happy that the series is so close.
Oh, we should be loading in a few seconds with SMC back on the attack. I mean, the thing is, they could tie things up at 3 apiece if they can get a capture here. And we haven't had an uplink position in the middle of the marketplace.
Right.
So I wonder if that's the position we're going to have happen in a few seconds.
This replay here, I think Pants knew he was there. He dropped back to radio in, don't shoot Sickness. But Thunder, I mean, it's hard when you're making reaction shots like that and you see someone out in your line of fire. It's an easy pick. You just go for it. And maybe he wasn't aware that that was the last member of SMC alive. But I mean, 5v1, that's a situation where you want to suppress. You don't want to get the kill.
Yeah, but I mean, also in the heat of the moment, like, you want the guaranteed point, right? And considering, like, you could either, like, in some worlds, in some matches, we have seen players come back from 1v4s and win, and you don't want to let that one slip, especially, you know, with Thunder Pilot already rezzing an enemy.
Yeah.
You don't want to have something like that happen as well, because then mentally you should be broken. But either way, SMC now on the attack again. There is an opportunity for them to tie things up, but the uplink spawn towards the south side, we will not be seen at the marketplace, most likely in this match.
They do have the quicker spawn, but they're not going to utilize it. So if you spawn on that side, typically you'll see a lot of smokes get tossed out. That'll allow them to cross that street, start to get into those objectives. There's Sickness tossing one of what will be many. Actually, that's a really good smokes. That's those point smokes I was talking about earlier. They tried to put one right on top of Otto. It didn't quite go far enough. Huni's going to get caught out if he tries to cross this. Sickness actually does get across. I'm very surprised. He must have been just missed. Pants here, also on that two-story position across the street, looking for some picks. He's actually getting kind of aggressive now, maybe pushing forward into the bazaar, looking for somebody. I mean, this is typical defense, I guess, from Globochem, but Pants there is getting very aggressive, looking for an early pick. He wants to sort of, since Globochem's in the lead, play aggressively and sort of shut down the momentum that SMC will try and mount as they come in for this push. This is a really interesting spot for him to be pushed up so aggressively, too. He's actually going to toss some nades, too.
Thing is, like, when you're in the lead like this, you technically have rounds that you can give away, but you obviously don't want to give away the uplink because that would just tie things up between the two teams. Some nades being thrown in, but no one falling just yet. No one really taking any damage. Sickness, though, as you mentioned, the prone. Looking over at him right now.
Yep.
Definitely sitting on the floor here trying to make the calls. And again, you know, we talk about communication. Well, in VR, you can literally do stuff with your hands. And if you have hand signals made, you don't need to talk to each other. I think we almost saw something similar happen just there with Sickness.
I think we did. Yeah, I think Sickness was directing to his squad to push forward, smoke that side, or he was actually pointing to Pants in that L there. He saw him there. His hand directions were out over into that side. Beefy's keyed in too. I think that's what he did. He keyed into Beefy of that side. So now Beefy's got his eyes drawn there. Sickness prone, pushing up. He's trying to get in a position where maybe he can get a pick and cap fast. This is tense.
There's still so many people there. There's 2 going to be on the actual uplink for Globochem. Technically 3 if you look at the man across the street.
Raph's exposed.
Sickness. I think they saw each other, but Sickness is going to get the elimination.
Gets up
SMC
quick.
with the man advantage, most importantly now.
See how quick he had to stand up, too. I mean, when you're prone in real life, you're prone in the game, too, and you have to stand up in real life. Athletic prowess does come into effect here. Sickness, a natural athlete, obviously.
Let's see, as they do have the man advantage, they can carry this through into a round of victory. Toast, though, going to take down Huni, so tying things up. And look at Landon. Oh, my. I almost don't want to say anything.
I know. Yeah. It's like golf. You gotta be quiet when he's going for that putt. Landon just peeks that corner. He could find Pants. And then Pants just isn't quite exposed. He is crouched, his shoulder peeking a little bit, but I don't think anyone's going to see that here. And he's holding this angle so tightly.
And Landon going to continue to try to...
He's got to be quiet. He's got to inch forward.
Oh.
I think standing up may have given away his position. You can see he's still very concerned about pushing this corner.
So slowly, he's almost invisible.
Meanwhile, Sickness really close up to objectives still. I'm surprised they didn't send anybody to try and answer this here, because they heard those shots go off and then he rotated out and then no one did anything about it. Pants has to hear Landon here. Beefy and Ponecake just sort of, I think Pants is almost holding up this entire offensive push. They know someone's here. Landon is looking desperately for him here, but he can't find him because Pants is tucked into a really odd corner. Yeah. I've never seen anyone pushed up there.
I guess he could play a massive spoiler for SMC.
Toast finds Pone Cake. I mean, he has been clutch all day. Sickness might look for that refrag down there while Landon pushes out around the corner. Pants finds Landon. Sickness gonna get the refrag.
And it's beefy.
Wow, Pants gets super aggressive. Toast finds Sickness, and Globochem take the round just like that.
Well, that was like 2-3 minutes leading up to just about 5 seconds of action at the very end. As Pants in that position he was playing just completely overwhelmed them. They did not expect that with Landon running around the corner. The problem was that Mr. Beefy was watching that angle pretty much the entire round, and yet wasn't able to get the elimination when it mattered.
They knew.
10 kills.
That's insane. That is insane. I mean, I think one thing to remember is that you can confirm bodies on the ground. That gives you a kill, right? So maybe a 10 kill scoreboard, 10 kills on the scoreboard isn't something that is terribly impressive, but it is a good performance. Man, that's impressive. I'm surprised to see Toast of all people. It's the last person I expected to do so well that series.
Don't let him hear. He can hear you right now.
It's all right. He knows.
Yeah, they're pretty happy about that one. Especially, I think Thunder Pilot's happy about that one after the. I wonder if Thunder Pilot can hear me right now, because if he can, I would love to give me like a. How was that that enemy res for you? Was that good, or was that?
Fun.
It was fun. It was fun. He said.
Yes,
Wait, that's what we're talking about. We did see that, but no, it was part of the game, because you guys won 4-1 anyways, right? You want to get in their heads, like we're gonna help you out. We're gonna res one of you. And let you kill me, but we're still going to beat you 4-1. But Globochem, they have to be happy about that one. Obviously, there's Thunder Pilot on your screen.
Yeah.
There's us as well. But no, yeah, the thing is, like, mentally, that's got to be so frustrating to have something like that happen. But luckily, he has his teammates to depend on, because 4-1 is a fantastic scoreline.
Yeah, and this is kind of where that last round, everything happened so fast. Sickness actually tried to go for a cap. He didn't go for the pick. Thunder was waiting for this corner for him to come up onto that corner, and he caught him out, pad out in his hand. Because the reason you actually want to have pad out first too is that also makes a sound.
Right.
So if you drop your weapon and go to pick up your pad from the back pocket and someone's defending near objective, they hear that. Then they can react. They can push corners like we saw in Suburbia. If you hear a grenade on the bottom floor, you push it. You hear a pad, you push it. And so that's what happened there. Sickness tries to deny that audio cue, but ultimately doesn't pay off for him.
Well, now our third map coming into this one will be Quarantine.
Yeah,
and that's Globochem's choice. And this is, I'd say, a much different map than what we've had so far.
Yeah, Quarantine offers up some very long-range trades, some very early long-range angles if you're not familiar with the map. If you're not ready for something that Globochem will break out, they're very good at finding those early picks on defense. They'll try and get some early rotations. There's a lot of exposed positioning as you try and move early on Quarantine, so they'll be looking for those picks. They got to be ready for that. I mean, this is their map, like you said, and I think they picked this because historically SMC haven't played fantastic on this map.
Well, we're also going to have substitutions in for both teams as well. Just to update you guys. Arsenic should be coming in for Raphael for Globochem. If I'm reading this correctly, Soda will be coming in for Landon for SMC. So again, we have basically a full new player coming in with Arsenic, who again hasn't been warmed up. We talked about Hooney, and I'm not trying to talk bad about him at all, but he wasn't really able to make an impact. Whether that's due to coming in, after sitting out a map and not being warmed up, or maybe they just didn't perform well in general on the map. You have to wonder that effect that it does have on your team of bringing in a new player. Right,
and speaking of the subs, Arsenic is a player that's very good at long-range maps. That's why he's brought in the Quarantine. He's going to be their guy that's looking for early long-range picks. And SMC's got to be ready for that because he's a fantastic shot, arguably one of the best in the entire game. That's why he's subbed in. As for the other sub, Soda in for Landon, also not surprised. He's an LMG expert. A lot of opportunity for suppressive fire. On your screen there, we see some pro tubes. You see a couple of guys using that to sort of help with these long-range shots. Because stabilizing your aim is no easy feat in this game.
Especially when you don't have anything to rest it on too, right? You have to kind of hope the strap does hold, so you can maintain that angle. As we've seen before, like if you just miss a shot by a millimeter or a centimeter or whatever, it can cost you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Luckily for SMC, when that happened with Hooney shooting Mr. Beefy, they didn't actually hit each other, so maybe he's lucky that didn't happen. But that map just didn't seem to go their way at all. It was their choice, but they didn't look like they were ever in it.
I think they may have gotten overconfident after winning that first map. I think they may have been feeling like, we're going to come in here and take this one from these guys. We're going to win this 2-0. Maybe they had their mind on the finals instead of thinking about what's right in front of them, the most powerful team in the league, and that they have to beat them or else it's going to be, well, you're in third and fourth.
Yeah, and obviously they don't want to drop out just yet. There's a pretty pretty big gap in money when it comes to third, fourth versus second and first. It's 15,000 for second, 10 for third, but first is 25 grand. So over doubling from third to first, or third, fourth to first. Just a couple of quick replays we did have from that last map here where Globochem, I mean, they just stomped SMC. I don't think there's a better word to describe it. There's Thunder Pilot rezzing the enemy and Pancake. Thing is, if you're Pancake, right, you're not expecting to be rezzed there either. So I wonder what was going through his head when he's like, wait, what?
Okay, so here's something we could really get deep into. I'm wondering if it was a fake call-out. I'm wondering if Pancake said, hey, come res me, because he knew he was near an enemy body and that he could potentially get picked up. I'm not sure if that's what happened.
Something we'd ask them, yeah.
Next level strategy, but frankly, I wouldn't be surprised by it because it's something you can do. You don't know who's talking to you unless you're familiar with your team's voice. So maybe that's what happened there. Just me guessing.
Well, that's what we talked about when it comes to communication in this. If you guys are new to VR and to Onward, you could literally talk to people around you without holding a button. You're not limited to just your team communication. You're communicating to everyone on the map, depending on where you are. Proximity also based off radio. So that's a very good possibility. I wish we could talk to him, and maybe after when we're done we can ask him. But not a bad theory.
Yeah, I like to think that these teams sort of break out the insane strategy plays like that, where they're really thinking about every single possible scenario at all times. Because these guys, I mean, like we've been talking about, lots on the line. They do have to consider all of their possible options to get this win. Anything they can do that's going to get them advantage, using new shield techniques, calling out for reses from an enemy. Anything you can do that'll get you maybe one more kill, because Pancake was unnaturally ready for that shot.
Yeah, he was.
As soon as he came up, gun was in hand, drawn up onto Thunder. I mean, that's like, I guess that's years of, literally years of muscle memory built in too, because you can snap that gun, boom, you're here. But that's still insanely impressive for him to be able to do that.
I still want to see like some maybe people do like, hey, throw your nade. It's like he was in that position, like just making fake calls to the team, like, hey, push up west side or something like that, to throw him off, to force him out of position towards one of his own teammates.
Yeah, no, and you can sometimes you'll hear people calling out, hey, come res me, you're right here, and in reality, it's the enemy, the teammate's flanking or something, because miscommunication can be used to your advantage. Absolutely. You can hear through walls. I think that's something you might not be typically used to in real life, obviously, but like if most walls you can hear through, so if someone's communicating in a room, you're outside of it, you still can hear them. If they're close to you, you can hear them. So you're not really safe just if you're tucked into a corner.
So moving into our next map, Quarantine, personally, who do you think this one favors?
I think this is the map that favors Globochem. This is the one that's going to be very hard for SMC to take a lead on. I think this is Globo's map, and like we said early, historically SMC haven't performed well on Quarantine. Now is the time for SMC to sort of break out a new strategy, maybe a new sort of play style on Quarantine to surprise Globochem, throw them off their feet, throw them off their game, bring something new, and hopefully grab this final map to shut down the #1 giants in Onward.
And this is a map that's typically be played very slow too. We're going to be seeing 4 or 5 minutes pass before either A, the objective actually gets pushed on, or B, quite a few frags coming through.
I expect that in most league rounds, but I think with Globochem, their strategy tends to cater more towards not using up all their time. They tend to favor to get into the position 2 minutes and 30, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and then start to make their moves. Personally, I think that's the right strategy to go with, because otherwise, as you try and push on objective, as you try and cap, you're panicked already. Now you're adding in maybe only 30 seconds to punch in a code, 10 seconds to punch in a code. Why put that stress on yourself?
There was a team in Leicester when SMC was playing, obviously, for the qualifier, that did that. They actually liked to wait out 5 minutes of time and then make the push happen. And we actually saw quite a few times where they ran out of time left, and they were forced to actually lose the round because of it.
Yeah, so
I can't remember the team off the top of my head.
It is a strategy that I think has come out of league play. It's maybe something that people think's the right idea, mentality for attacking. It can work sometimes also. Like, for example, if you're against a team that attacks you on defense, you're going to want to play back when you attack. You know what I mean? You're going to want to try and catch out an aggressive Volk member defending, looking for a pick, and then you can make your move. So it's all, you have to be aware of who you're playing. I think Globochem is going to be a team that is going to be trying to get into position early, and we'll see if SMC Tactical can use that to their advantage.
Well, obviously going to be loading in once we do get, I think, technical issues sorted out for one of the players.
Yep.
Trying to redraw out his zone here, but SMC, I'm impressed by them, honestly, and I think I probably should have been too hard on them personally, because with the time they have had to get to this, like they've had the opportunity to really hammer down their work. And obviously with their big player, we have to keep bringing up Sickness, come into this one to be the mastermind for the team, has helped a lot.
He looks very comfortable up there too, which I'm surprised by. He's the only guy, like we said, that hasn't been on stage. Him and the entire Boss Fight squad have never played in a LAN match. But he seems comfortable up there. He's been doing well in the rounds. He's been going for his typical tricky Sickness plays where he tries to go in for caps. He tries to go prone for caps. He tries to get into positions you're not expecting him. He's been doing that pretty well today so far. So we'll see if that continues into quarantine, because there's all sorts of opportunities for him to slither his way in and cap an objective here.
Yeah, and speaking of Sickness, this is actually his favorite map, Quarantine. When we did talk to him, he did say this was his one, but the team prefers Cargo and Suburbia.
Yeah.
But to have your big strategist have this as the map they enjoy the most, that's got to be a big sign for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I've overheard Sickness talking to a squad before. He said, I have plans for every map. I have plans for every spawn. So he is ready. He has things that he's obviously drawing out on that whiteboard to get his team as ready as they can be to face off against Globochem. And I know he's been sitting down. He's actually been the one that's watched the most footage. He's seen everybody play and watched all of those matches because he's been at home watching his team play instead of playing with them. So he's got all the footage in his mind.
Can't imagine the stress he was under as well. Watch his team play in the UK for a chance to be here. Because obviously his opportunity of coming rode on that as well.
Yeah, and if you remember after that Leicester event, they were very thankful to Sickness even then when he wasn't there, because I'm sure he was an assistance to their team when they were between series. You know, they Skype called with him. You know, he was always communicating with his team while they were abroad. And now he's here and he doesn't have to Skype call. He can play with his squad. He can shoot for them. He doesn't have to feel that pressure unless he's feeling it up there on the stage.
And speaking of, you know, both these two teams, like Globochem, like this is a team that plays 20 to 30 hours a week. Like this is basically a full-time job for them. So if they were to potentially drop out in this match, I think they'd be very disappointed in their performance.
Yeah, they have sunk astronomical amounts of time into getting very good at Onward, and they are very good at Onward. I mean, they're no easy team to take. Obviously, they're proving that here as they battle against SMC. But, I mean, yeah, they have thousands of hours in. If you're putting 20 to 30 hours in as a squad, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's hard to get on
well, that's
that
just as
much
a squad, too. That's not even like your own personal practice time.
Yeah, and you see it. You see it. If you're a player on Onward, you see Globochem always online, always in lobbies every single day. They love this game, and they put so much effort into being the top team. I think we're finally getting into this quarantine round. Thanks for sticking through with tech difficulties, everybody.
Well, here we go. Last map, ladies and gentlemen. It's just our first best of 3 of the day. We still have our second one between Boss Fight and Beginners to come up next. And then later on today, the Grand Finals. But we have to find out who the teams are going to be there today. And after this map is done and dusted, we will have our first Grand Finalist. Globochem, will it be them? Or will it be SMC Tactical as we kick things off with SMC on the defense?
It's interesting to see both of these guys taking this position. I mean, usually you kind of want to spread a little bit if you're going to peek corners just because less coverage, can't get double tapped or anything like that. But Globochem has pushed up insanely fast.
Well, let's see if they continue to keep that pace on. You see Panch trying to cover Arsenic again. A new player coming into this one. Long-time player within the team, but this is the map they brought him in for. And I think you mentioned iFire, he's a very long-distance player.
Yeah. He
very
is
accurate.
He's also I mean, he's just a good player overall, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe working around for a flank. I'm just impressed with how quickly Globochem got to this position. SMC didn't send anybody up onto that rooftop to watch anybody crossing that north street. And if they can get up and tag Soda and take control of this hill, it's going to be really hard for SMC to manage things. Pwnecake is going to be the one that has to catch out this Globochem offensive. He's looking more for a fast west approach,
yeah, I think so.
But instead he should be looking east, where these guys are slowly exposing themselves by APC and pushing up to objective.
Well, it looks like they're going to let Globochem get up close and personal for these shots, but as we can see, SMC are pretty much prepared for this just off the positions and where they are holding very tightly around that uplink. Finally, a couple of shots rattling up. I think that was out of Arsenic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was over towards that defender on that hill. A couple of nades coming out to the rooftop, maybe trying to find Pwnecake, but nothing going to land as he sort of tucked himself into the very back corner. of the roof, and he'll be looking for Toast, I think, is the angle he's been holding. So Toast is at risk here. He gets overexposed if he crosses that street. Pwnecake will be waiting for him patiently. It's actually going to be maybe a few more minutes before Toast runs into that, because these angles these guys are holding, if you kind of look at that map, they've formed a bit of a, they're covering every single entry point.
Oh.
Wow,
Kobe.
A really nice airburst nade. What he did there is actually cooked it just a little bit, and then when he tossed it, it blew up in the air, and it caught Pwnecake behind his cover, as opposed to landing on the ground and allowing Pwnecake to dodge that nade.
Well, his team now knows he's down. He's not out just yet, though. He could be picked back up, but I don't know if they're actually going to send anyone to do that. If anything, they can actually use him as bait and watch anyone trying to take that that high ground position away from them.
Yeah, it is important to remember Globochem doesn't know they have this kill. That's a really nice attempted refrag there at where Arsenic would have been pushing up if he was getting a little more aggressive. Sickness there. Yeah, he'll get that res.
Well, they've had to give up some sort of angle they were holding before. You can see Sickness now looking to back away. That sound might be heard out of Arsenic, and I think it potentially was. Another nade has come in, and Pwnecake.
Just a smoke.
Poor guy. Just leave him alone. He's got a family.
Everybody take a breath. It was just a smoke grenade. It's okay.
Oh, look at this. Double smoke comes through. 2 players out of SMC on the tank.
Beautiful. Beautiful smokes. Those are perfectly covering that cross.
But are they actually going to go for the cross, or is it just a bait? Because they still have people pushing towards the west-hand side.
Yeah, they're trying to converge on all fronts around these guys. They want to come in from the east, the west, and the center rooftop area. It's going to be really bad if Pwnecake goes down on the roof. And they are going to go for the cross. Those smokes are beautiful. That is so hard to do, to place a smoke right where you want it.
Oh.
Sickness saw the rotation.
And he actually snuck his way in there, too. Most importantly, Pwnecake is still alive on this building.
Here's these footsteps. Thunder finds Sickness, actually. That's a huge pick for him. Hooney half grabbing Toast. A couple of trades going on that front side over by the hotel. Otto is going to get the res on Arsenic, I think, and now it's going to be 4v2. Globochem looking very good starting off this quarantine round.
I mean, we did see SMC take down 2 people, but they didn't finish them off. They only downed them, and now it's just all on the one player of SMC, and Globochem have really come to play here. The team that dropped the first map, who we thought were almost going to lose in a 2-0 fashion, have been able to fight back, and Arsenic takes down Mr. Beefy. Globochem will be up now 1-0.
It's so insane. It's nuts to see that sort of aggression. I mean, you're on Marsoc, you are technically, I mean, you're in a 4v1 situation for Arsenic to go to the top of that hill and instead look for a pick versus crashing down onto objectives. It's interesting. Maybe it just shows where Globochem's mentality is at. And I think if I try and recall, I don't know if they ever cap.
Globochem.
Yeah. That's just not their MO. So I'm not surprised, I guess.
Well, if they're playing like this, I don't think they really need to
No, you don't. No, you don't. Sorry, I just looked over at Pants and saw his hair.
Yeah. Well, he's having a good time. He's really into it, you know? Really obviously taking this one serious considering what's on the line here. Get an extra $5 grand in their pockets just for winning this match. And they're looking good. I mean, the thing is, like, they did not look fantastic at all, whether that was SMC playing really well or Globochem not playing up to the standards we know. But when they got to the second map, things started to pick up for them. And now the third map, they've already looked fantastic.
Yeah, they are really rolling with their momentum, typical to Globochem's style. I'm surprised Thunder gets this pick here. Sickness should have been waiting. Maybe he didn't see the cross with the smoke, and Thunder just had that advantage. There was a little trade. You saw the bullets hit the other side of that rock, too, just missing Thunder.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. But I don't think that one elimination would have really done much because it's not like those 2 players on Globochem actually were able to get much more. It was Arsenic just controlling the pace, getting those 3 eliminations.
Yeah, obviously a good substitution for this Globochem squad as he proves his worth that very first round. I mean, I guess he's not too worried about getting warmed up.
Yeah, not at all.
There's Pants in his hair. Beautiful stuff.
Well, here we go. Our second round kicking off now. SMC going to be on the attack this time. And they really have their backs to the wall. We talked about, no team's really able to do that to Globochem. Well, now SMC, unfortunately, the tides have turned, and they are trying to fight to keep their tournament hopes alive here.
Going to get the exact same spawn as well. We'll see how SMC opts to work with it and see how Globochem defend. What they're doing here is looking for some early picks. They're trying to find those spawn points. Once they can identify where the team spawned, they can rotate accordingly and defend accordingly. If they can recognize that this spawn is over on this southeast corner, then they can sort of rotate their defense to be in position to react to it. But I don't know. They're not. I don't think they caught this spawn out in time, and I think SMC is going to be able to get into a similar position. A nice pick though from Otto. Soda getting a little over-aggressive on that cross.
Well, we talked about Globochem in the last round, how aggressive they were being to get this far pushed up so quickly. I think SMC has actually one-upped them.
Yeah.
The only downside is they haven't been able to actually pick up a kill off this, and they've lost a player. So they've done it worse than Globochem, though they have done it faster. Thunderpilot, though, big down onto Pancake, and SMC are just losing men left and right.
Yeah, this is a tough one right now. Thunder also confirming that kill, so no Rez is going to be able to come out onto Pancake. It is information you can use. You know where Thunder is now with those shots, and the smokes are coming out. Pants with the call-outs on BP. They know he's there, and the bullets rain down on the wall. Tucks into cover, and he is barely safe for now. He's going to need support from the rest of his squad here. Arsenic getting super exposed. Sickness can't find the shots on the hill. Now Pants knows he's over at APC as well, and he'll be looking over towards Sickness also.
Thing is, you talk about SMC and Mr. Beefy needing help from his teammates, but there's not many left alive. To be fair, Nightfire, there's only 2 left besides him, 3 up against 5 out of Globochem, who have not dropped a single player here. And Sickness is actually going to be very aggressive. Pants is going to hear him, could make the call, could go for the shot over the top.
Super exposed to Hooney, though. The shots rang out. They don't land. Look at Pants. He hits to the ground instantly in a very unique crouch position as he tries to get into cover from those shots.
He wants it too. That's the shame for him. Is like he wants this, but he knows if he exposes himself, he could lose out. So the composure, the patience out of this player is really helping Globochem keep the man advantage. Toast is gonna have a little bit of action as Beefy's gonna round the corner. Sickness though, luckily for him, does net their first frag of the round, but they're still gonna need much more than this to close this distance.
Yeah, that was pretty key. They now have the option to send someone around west. Granted, that rooftop is watching it pretty diligently, so it's gonna be tough for Sickness to make that rotation. Beefy here is in a position to catch Toast out and sort of take control of the hills, sort of be a threat to the back end of the rooftop. He just needs one pick here on that corner.
I feel like his gun's seen too. I feel like Toast notices it, and he's like waiting for him to peek around the corner. And he's going to do it slowly, if anything. He's not going to go very fast just to catch him off guard. But he does have the opportunity to go for the pre-fire. Here we go. Come around the corner.
Nope. Toast just peeks in as Beefy peeks out. You're absolutely right. It is gun knowledge, where your barrel is something you have to pay attention to. I'm surprised he doesn't see Toast on the corner. Beefy looks, the shots ring out. Toast doesn't get caught. Super lucky. He was just exposed on his shoulder. But now Beefy, they know where he's at. They know they have information, so Globochem can react accordingly.
Meantime, Sickness going to be on the wing here, looking to maybe take some sort of high ground, but he's going to be very exposed as well here with Pants. So you might see him coming up. Nate going to come in, maybe cause a distraction, actually pushes Pants back. Beefy, though, going to take down Arsenic, so a big frag coming in for SMC to tie things up. That's now 3 apiece.
They've sort of salvaged this round right now. If Sickness can get himself up onto this plane wing and find an unorthodox pick, it's in the spot you typically see people go because it's so super exposed. Pants is looking there, though. He's in a spot to catch this Sickness push. I don't know if they're going to spot each other. This isn't...
Pants has such an advantage. Oh,
nope.
Oh, he didn't
nope. No, he didn't. Out of his peripheral. He didn't see him out of the peripheral.
Now
nope.
Right
nope.
there.
Finally spotted him. Hooneyhalf did get the refrag, though. Pants goes down. Beefy gets tagged up. SMC lose all the members. Globochem take that defensive win.
I really wish we had Steven here, by the way.
For what?
For his celebrations, for his abracadabras. I will always say he's one of my personal favorite players, but seeing individual players and their celebrations are good. Thunderpilot just likes to shoot the ground.
Yeah. Let out some rounds.
Yeah, you know, not involve the syringe ever again, most likely for him. But Globochem 2-0 in the lead. Gonna be on the attack now, and they can win the whole series off of this.
Yeah, this is obviously a key point for SMC. I think if they let this one go, I don't know if they're going to have the momentum to swing it back up and sort of rally 3 or 4 rounds to win the series. They have to win here and then sort of keep themselves in the game, keep it close, 2-1, 2-2. They got a chance. If Globochem keep their momentum up and keep pushing, it's just not going to be doable, I don't think. They're going to be working too well together.
And the unfortunate part for SMC as well is it's not like these rounds have been close.
Right.
You know, they've really not been.
Right.
They lost their first player when they pushed up aggressively on the attack there. Then they ended up losing that round 3-0. The previous round, it was more than that one-sided for Globochem. And even thinking back to the last map when we were on Bazaar, Globochem looked like they were being the better team. So SMC, I wonder if they're getting down on themselves. I wonder if they're running out of answers. because they are consistently getting worse as the series goes on, or maybe Globochem are consistently getting better.
In this replay here, you might have been wondering why he doesn't see him. The FOV of the Oculus is only 110 degrees. It's not what you're seeing here at 180, so he didn't see him out of the corner of his eye. He was looking straight ahead, and just as he slowly rotated his head in game, he finally caught Sickness into his field of view and got that pick.
Yeah, it looks like Thunderpilot here just getting set up and ready to go. Or maybe he's having some issues. Either way, we'll find out momentarily. But you can see, I mean, the look on their faces, how much it means to them, how serious they're taking this. Yeah, they're up 2-0. Yeah, they're tied at 1 apiece, but they realize that this is a very important match for them.
Yeah, we are having some tech difficulties. What you saw right there is the round started, but they abandoned it, so no points go either way. Little mechanic that's built into the esports scene of the game.
Yeah, actually, Arsenic, the one, is having some issues at the moment, which, I mean, if you're Globochem, you definitely don't want him to, because he already has 3 frags. He's already done fantastic being a substitute in for this map, and this map only.
I think, I mean, I guess we'll talk about it again, but your real-life height comes into play here, too. I know he's a taller guy as opposed to the rest of his squad. He kind of towers over him, so maybe those lighthouses are, I mean, you can even see him, too. They had to raise those lighthouses for him, so he had more coverage.
Can you actually explain, for people who don't play Onward, why the sensor height is super important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see here we have 4 sensors. I think that's pretty key also, because having full coverage from top to floor ground is a must. And when you're talking about a game like Onward where you're using your hands to shoot, you can't afford to have any sort of tracking issues, because that's going to affect your actual aim in game.
Yep.
You could be looking at somebody, and if your tracking goes wonky and your hand drifts away, your gun's pointing to the left instead of where you want it to. So to have these 4 sensors is amazing. It provides near perfect tracking in all situations if you're standing tall or prone on the ground, and it's something you really need in Onward, because frankly you're crouched or prone probably more than you are standing up.
Yeah, and not to mention, if you're aimed directly at the sensors, sometimes it can't pick up the second controller, because obviously it's behind you, or behind your other hand. So very important that everything is sorted. It looks like Arsenic should be ready momentarily. Just waiting for him to make sure all the settings are good to go. But again, just looking at the faces, like I'm looking around at the players, and you know, Globochem, I think they're looking a lot more serious than I expected. I think they realized, like, after that first map, it was not as easy of a match as they maybe expected to come into this one, but they still want to be the reigning champs. And I feel like, as we saw Thunderpilot, who had that mistake in the last map, is really being hard on himself, and they really want to keep that focus.
Yeah, like I said earlier, SMC need this round. If they don't, Globochem is going to run away with this. I don't have much doubt about that in my mind. I think this is a must-win for them. So this next round coming up is super important. Should be hopping in soon. I think Arsenic's just readying up his loadout, getting his kit sorted.
I mean, the thing is that we still have another match come up after this. We still have beginners versus boss fight, and the winner of that will take on the winner of this, and they have the opportunity. I think I saw some of them in the crowd actually watching how both teams are playing, so they can be prepared if they do get themselves to the grand finals. Yeah, another means of getting footage on the enemy. There you see the sensors. They're angled down to cover that floor position, so those guys can crouch and get prone and have their good coverage. Otto prepping up some strats on the whiteboard for his squad. Beefy looking at strats, probably Sickness's drawings over there. And I mean, that hair, you gotta watch out for that. That's gonna get in front of the sensors. I thought it was funny for Mr. Beefy, because we obviously had some information on them, and he said he got lost on the way to college, and that's why he went to the Army. But actually, yeah, he even says, like, later on that he actually wants to go back to college, you know, get that done and dusted with. And maybe with the money he gets here, he might be able to. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice. Look at this, as you're talking about before, trading out mags, trading out, you know, potential grenades as well. But here we go. The round has kicked off. Globochem up 2-0 on the attack, and look at that uplink position. Oof. Oof on this uplink position. This is a very hard one to defend. There's all sorts of open spots where you would want to go and defend, but are super exposed to frags or potential pushes. Pants pushing up super aggressive. Might have found that rotation on the north side. They sent 2 north so that they get that rooftop position and cover down onto objective. It's really important they secure north and maintain their coverage there. Otherwise, it's going to open up this entire street for Pants to cross, and he can get in right into objective courtyard area and be a real threat. Even Otto as well towards the very south side has the opportunity to push up. Sickness trying to watch that angle, though, from the prone position. Thunderpilot here working around the down plane the down plane towards his right. He's got 3 players, and no one's actually looking towards his direction. Yeah, I mean, look at SMC. 2 prone, 3 crouch. Nobody's exposing themselves. They're all very low to the ground, trying to maintain cover. You got a couple of guys standing up, trying to find shots over things over on
Globochem, but yeah, they are hunkering down right now. I think they're playing a little bit more conservative than you normally see a trade coming out there. Pwnecake does get toast. That's a nice pickup.
This time, no nades going to take down Pwnecake as he almost fell twice in this spot earlier on. But there we go, SMC. We haven't really seen them have the man advantage in the beginning of a round on this map, and hardly on the last map when we were on Bazaar. Arsenic might be looking to turn this one around here. Obviously know exactly where he's going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, Pants is sort of, I think, second-guessing what he should be doing here. He wants to cross the street, but I think he knows he can't. They've lost that rooftop, so they don't feel comfortable in rubble anymore, and they're going to drop back all the way south, potentially, and sort of do a bit of a rotation here. And this is something that I think you'd only really see out of a skilled team that knows their limits and knows when to rotate. Arsenic heard the shots here on rooftop, so that's what he's looking for up there, but he may just say, I don't need roof. I'm going to keep my flank going.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no one looking towards him. Pants is going to take down Sickness, who we saw prone earlier on in towards the middle of the map.
That's a huge pickup for him because
I like Otto's position too.
Sitting back there, he has that straight line of shot across the whole objective area. The objective's over there by Tank. And yeah, if they stack 2 here, throw a nade up top, I mean, I don't know if they're going to try and take rooftop. I think you can go around it. Granted, I mean, they're sending 3 over here. They really want to take this north area.
Arsenic should. Oh no, he actually just crossed to the building, so he doesn't see Pwnecake there. But they have to know. But they have so many people pushed around towards a flank position. You've got Otto towards the south. You got these 2 players towards the north. I don't know if SMC know about this one, Nightfire. I think this could be a major downfall for them.
Yeah, if you just play, how Otto got over there is a real wonder, because he actually almost has line of sight onto Captain Soda. Also, if you can shut down your defense that's on top of objective, it opens it up to smokes. Pwnecake could be in trouble if he's caught out on this north rooftop. He might not be able to get down to objective in time. Could be a serious disaster if they're not careful. So they really can't afford to have that central defense crumble.
Pwncake's in a really tough spot. Pants was going up the wing of the plane. He does take him down. Thunderpilot's finally able to respawn as they trade, but the damage has been done. But Globochem still have 2 players who can be res back up. Arsenic going to get Thunder.
Otto finally finds Soda and finds Arsenic verifying Pwnecake down. We're into a 2v2. Hooney rotating out, might get caught by Pants or Arsenic up on the roof. Actually went for the res. Now it's a 3v3.
Oh, Globochem. Well, 3v2 at the moment.
Yeah, sorry.
If Globochem can get that 3rd player up, which they will do, so you were right in the end, 3v3. But Thunderpilot's going to fall again to Pwnecake, who got him before, as we saw that great res come through in the 2nd map. What's up?
Someone else just went down right there. I think he may have fallen off of the plane wing and taken fall damage and gotten down.
Watch the game.
Thunderpilot's down there. How did he go down in the back?
Not sure.
I think he died to fall damage. Now they're scavenging for a syringe so they can go and get him up.
Just like in real life, you fall off a high place, you do get incapped.
Yeah.
You do break your legs. But the magic juice, Pant's not going to have it.
Nope.
That's really unfortunate, actually.
Yeah.
Thing is, Pwnecake should have one, shouldn't he?
Well, I thought I saw one on the ground, too. Maybe Pants now realizes he can get this res off, tries to go find himself a syringe. It's just wasting time, though. Globochem, 1 of 2 guys over there. Arsenic's in a fantastic position to catch Hooney, and he does.
Only downed him, though. He didn't get the finisher on him. But that does potentially bait in someone of SMC to go for the res onto him. The thing is, we're running out of these syringes. We've had so many reses come in. Pants does get Thunderpilot back up. Those legs have been repaired, and hopefully for him doesn't fall out of high places. Hooney should be dropped out of Arsenic, or maybe trying to bait out the actual body.
Wow, he just missed the shots on him. Finally gets picked up by Soda. Soda now has the opportunity to rotate and grab Hooney if he's lucky, but Pants here is looking down that main street, and they're starting to crash.
I think Soda used his syringe already, actually. I don't think they have the opportunity. There's 40 seconds now left to go. Beefy takes down Pants, and now it's just going to be a 1-on-2 here for Globochem.
Oh, Soda almost went for the res. Thunder sees him out in the open, catches him in the back. Now it's a 1v1. Where's the last member? He's tucked way in the back.
He's not at the uplink.
Yeah, he's not. He's starting to rotate around now. He realizes his positioning.
20 seconds
left
to go.
I think Thunder just saw him.
Thunder going to push in. Yeah, it looks like he did spot him out. The thing is, he's running out of time. And because there's no clock in game, you have to look at that watch. And I'm not sure if he's aware that there's no time left to go. 15 seconds. He either needs to go.
Nope,
there he goes.
checks
it in a few seconds. Trying to go for the rest. That's
the
right
wrong
person.
body.
It's Hooney up to the side. He gets around behind
there
him. The rest
is.
comes in. They've got the 2-on-1. That Thunder's going to go down.
Wow.
And Mr. Beefy will keep their hopes alive.
Wow, that was. I think Beefy was shocked by that. You saw on his face. What's he doing here? Why was he in the center of the courtyard?
You know what's scary for me, right? Is that I almost am sure that Mr. Beefy did not know how little time was left.
Yeah.
And he put himself in a position that he could have been shot and actually eliminated and put Globochem onto match point.
I can't believe he went for that res. That was insane. I mean, to be exposed, you have to weigh these sort of variables in your head in such tight, you know, you only have 40 seconds left. Okay, I got one guy out. He's telling me he's resable because he's down. He can radio
Is he a
in.
friendly or is he an enemy now? I have to ask myself.
And then once you've determined he's a friendly, you can get out there and get that res. But man, that was lucky. That was lucky, I think. He got away with a very tight play.
Well, that does get them their first round here on this map, but it's still not over just yet. Lucky for them, they get to attack now.
Yep.
So they could tie things up at 3 apiece. Or actually, they could take the lead technically 3-2. But either way, they have not looked like a fantastic team, and just some moments of brilliance there out of Mr. Beefy really helped lock that down. Even Pancake, actually, he got so many frags from that position where previously in a prior round, he got naded and eliminated.
Yeah, he really played that very sneakily, I guess is the word I'm looking for. He sat up there and waited for that entire team to almost surround him. They didn't know he was there. They had Arsenic, who was busy flanking. Thunder's coming up, and then he makes his move and catches one, or actually caught two out on the roof.
Here it is right here. Replay of that.
This res. He actually went for the wrong body again. This is something you just can't. You can't
I think
know.
it's 10 seconds left, right? And then he rushes to the uplink to make sure he wasn't there. He gets the turn the last second, but if somehow Thunder picked up that kill against Beefy, there was a good chance he could have gotten Huni as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was time to get another pickup. He still had those few seconds. Granted, it would have been an unreal pickup for them. But, yeah, I mean, I think what happened there, Thunder was looking for Beefy where he saw him earlier, and he wasn't expecting him to be on objective. Gets caught out, and SMC grabbed themselves one for the board. They really needed to get on there. That was a must-win. Actually having some more tech issues, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like Arsenic just trying to sort some things out. Radar Head, get out of the shot. Your head is very big and shiny and is blinding us all.
Can hardly see now. Thanks for that.
But still, he'll actually be coming up with blue for the second semifinal, which is beginners up against boss fight, which will be happening right after this.
Yeah, do not sleep on that series either. This one has been fantastic. I think beginners in boss fight also could be really a quality series. I mean, like we said earlier, boss fight, haven't played in a LAN situation, but we'll be able to see how they can perform. I think we're finally, no, we're not. We're just taking a look at that replay
quick replay here.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunderpilot falling off. That's what it was.
Thunderpilot got down to fall damage. I mean, there's fall damage in this game. I guess that's something we haven't really covered. But if you try and jump off a high ledge, you're going to take damage and get downed. Sometimes if you've been downed already, you'll fall off that ledge and be dead for good, unusable to your team, a complete waste. And that's not to go down like that in a...
Yeah. I think he's probably a little bit frustrated that we have really good observers because they've been able to catch all the action. But either way, they're still winning. They're still a couple rounds away from close this one out.
He pulled a real Thunder there.
He's right there, man. He can hear you. I didn't say it. That was your words. But Mr. Beefy, the guy on the screen here, majestic beard, and you saw his reaction after that of how it felt to really be able to pull the one off again. The res coming through, and the save in the last few seconds.
Look at these. Look at how sweaty these guys are. I mean, it's just a testament to how hard this game is.
In Leicester, when SMC was playing in the final game, you could see his beard glistening, and that wasn't from glitter. That was literally sweat in his beard the entire time. It was insane. But I mean, again, you see them sitting down, relaxing because they're crouching, they're laying on the ground, they're jumping up from the ground. Like, it's very physically intensive. Yeah. And you need to obviously like stay hydrated. This is what we were talking about, I think, in rehearsals yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a European team coming into this, you didn't fly in that long ago. You're going to be jet lagged. I mean, hell, I came from the UK and from Germany, and I'm tired as hell.
Yeah.
But for them to do that and play and be that physical with the game, it's going to be very tough, and we are going to have an EU versus EU clash in the next match.
Yeah, yeah, we are. So we'll kind of see who deals with jet lag the best. I think if you're going to want to watch anybody to sort of see the physicality of it all, Pants is a great person to keep an eye out for. He'll be in the middle of a trade on top of roof, standing up entirely, and then all of a sudden he's on the ground. And he didn't push a button to go prone. He physically threw himself to the floor. It's ridiculous to see some of these guys, their commitment to staying safe or to faking getting killed. They'll dive into the ground. They'll try and fake a death fall. You'll even hear guys fake the audio noise that comes out of bodies when they get downed.
Can you give us a prime example for people out there?
I refuse. I cannot. Has never been my skill. But
you know, Radar Head would do it. But
Maybe
You're even getting booed by the crowd now.
I know. We'll work one out of him. Blue can get a scream out of him on stage. He's nodding sure. Yes, I will do that.
Can we trade you? Because I know you would do it. You know, bring in a real dedicated caster. No, you've been doing a great job. It's been a pleasure to cast your Nightfire.
Yes, it has
but
been a fun series.
Obviously, we're having some tech issues for Arsenic, trying to sort things out. Wants to be able to play at 100%, which you need to, especially with what's on the line here. You go from 10 grand to a minimum of 15 grand. And if you win, obviously 25 grand in your pocket.
Yeah, it is so much prize money to be focused on. I feel like maybe the best strategy is to put that headset on and let everything go away. You know, once you put that headset on, you can kind of go back to your living room, not remember the huge money pool that you're playing for, not remember that people are watching you on a big stage and that you're live to a huge audience on Twitch or wherever you're watching now, and just focus on your game. It's doable because of VR, because you go into your own world. They don't see anybody here. They're in that headset on that map playing that round. It's all up to them if they can deal with the pressure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we do need to head to a quick 5-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to have our conclusion of our first match of the day, so don't go anywhere.
Will be the correct in front of the green car. Because of several times.
We lost auto. Rotate on to objective.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check out burning from hotel. If someone crosses the road and they spot them, they're gonna move forward.
take the north. They're in gas station right now.
Noted. Run down the time, guys. Run down the.
We need to clear this area.
I holding west.
Sound like soda's front roof. Okay guys, we're gonna have to take mill burning. So we're gonna have to get a smoke out and take it here. I'll smoke the road. We're at middle burning. There could be a guy in the stairs. You got a grenade? Come here. And watch here for a second. Where?
One dead, one more. I got bulk too. 130.
Got him. That guy's dead. Courtyard of bulk. There's still one in. I got you that burning. He's dead.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's on objective right now.
Nice! Yes!
Strategies they do want to go for here. And Pancake, a little unfortunate, because if he didn't fall there, the Thunder Pilot, that actually could have been a good opportunity for them to somehow hold on to this one. But let's see. See Mr. Beefy there on your screen? It's been a real staple for the team, actually. Even thinking back to Lester, I mean, he was like the man at the forefront, the man doing all the interviews.
Yeah.
We've already seen a great double kill out of him with that grenade in the prior round.
Fantastic. Yeah, he just kind of tends to shine for this SMC Tactical squad. He always gets himself into situations where he's getting really nice picks. He has a great beard, so it's always fun to look at.
Just makes me jealous.
I know, me too.
I can see your facial hair. You can see mine. We're
Yeah.
never going to get something as majestic as that. But either way, you know, looking into this match, you have to wonder how exhausted they're going to be. Because luckily for them, they still have some time, whoever does win, before the Grand Finals kicks off. But you know they're not really going to rest. It's going to be, okay, we got to watch this next match. We need to see what our opponents are doing. We got to analyze it. We got to come up with their own strategies. And they have to somehow figure out some sort of time to relax in there.
Well, where's Boss Fight and Beginners going to get their time? They're literally going to go from one series to the next. They're going to be the ones that are really going to test the stamina.
Well, here we go. Spawn coming in. You can notice for SMC.
Ooh, it's a fast one.
Yep, not going to be at Creator Spawn this time.
They're going to be coming in hot from that rooftop, looking for some early picks here while these guys get into position. Otherwise, they're going to take their sweet time. And one of those two are your options here. Stack up a couple into that burning rubble area and sort of wait for the push to happen. There's another long-range nade. Maybe that's a smoke?
Yeah, smoke coming through right there.
Wow, that was unreal.
I'm telling you, you should literally watch him throw it. He throws his entire body into it.
That smoke's ridiculous.
There we go. Some more being thrown very deep here. Otto, lucky it was not a couple steps back.
Maybe they cooked that a little bit and it blew up in the air.
But they're aware that there's most likely to be a person inside those ruins. So you can already see SMC have been prepared for this push, especially with the spawn they do have.
Yep. The smoke was sent out there to deny vision from Toast. That's why they smoked that street, because they're worried about that defensive position. And they're going to have to get the pick on him if they want to have any sort of advancement here. Hooney with some more nades. Underhanding, actually.
Otto, though, going to be sitting basically inside the smoke. This is going to fall again, unfortunately. One of the first in the last 2 rounds.
I'm surprised Toast saw that crossing. I thought that smoke was enough. Apparently not.
And Pancake pushing up.
That is information, though. I do know Toast is now in that cockpit area, so you can see the rotation around. They're going to try and maybe push up around that cockpit and just shoot right into him. A nade actually tossed out, tried to catch Toast. As he catches Pancake out,
oh no, this is going bad. This is going all bad for SMC. It's going to be a 5-on-2 now. Captain Soda is able to respawn with the kill onto Thunder Pilot, but one will not be enough in the grand scheme of things here. Hooney is going to fall, and it's all on this last player. 1v4.
Globochem looking so good here. Captain Soda, the substitute for this map, will he be able to pull it out for his team? You can almost see Globochem celebrating prematurely. They're really feeling confident here. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left. Soda has some time to work with. He can do something unique if he wants. He can rotate around, try and make something happen, but it's going to be insanely hard. Globochem are looking good. They're looking like they're going to be the squad that's going to advance to the finals.
Well, let's see. He's going to try here, Captain Soda. Thing is, every little bit of sound he makes just gives up so much information, considering Globochem can kind of expect there to be only 1 player left, almost at this rate. But he has a lot of scavenging he can do from teammates, but there's just so many angles to cover from. He's going to try to peek this corner. Arsenic.
Ooh, might be able to catch Arsenic out. Arsenic isn't really looking over there. He's kind of covering the back end of Toast. Does spot him.
I think he did. Yep.
He went for his radio there. That's a call out for the rest of his squad.
Smoke coming in, maybe trying to cause us somewhat of a distraction. And Toast, I mean, he's still sitting there. He's still prepared for this push, Nightfire.
I think they tried to smoke out that burning building by tossing the smoke on the roof. It's just not quite effective enough to deny Arsenic vision. And if Toast tries to cross around here, Arsenic might be able to get him and secure Globochem the win.
3 minutes left to go. They have spotted him out. The shots have right off. Toast is still there. Prepared to stop this one. Arsenic, the long-range player for Globochem, is looking to close this one out. The smoke comes in. Toast even stands up, looking to come around the corner. They can taste this victory. They can taste the main stage and a chance for that $25,000. He tries to cross the corner. It's not going to fall just yet, but he's not looking too healthy.
I can't believe he hasn't shot at Arsenic yet. He has the LMG. Finally, shots do ring out. Toast tries to peek with that suppressive fire, and he finds him underneath the Hummer. Globochem take the win.
Well done for Globochem to be able to pull that one off. Obviously very jubilant about that victory. But SMC, they played their hearts out. They got so close. But unfortunately, in the end, it didn't really give them that victory they needed. Thunder Pilot as well, who had a really rough series, let's be honest. The reses, the falling off the airplane, the wing. But they've done it. They maintained that #1 position, and we now have our first team through to the grand finals.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I'm going to put my weight on them in the finals, too. I think if they're going to go up boss fight or beginners, I think Globochem's going to be the one to win, no matter who they face.
It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. But luckily for beginners and boss fight, they've been sitting here for a majority of the time. They've had the opportunity to watch that match and figure things out. But now Globochem can celebrate, can be happy. Obviously, very, as you can see, them a lot of sigh of relief for them, considering how the series was going. But they're not done just yet. They still have to play another match, and they still have to get ready for that one.